Hey guys, Sean here. Welcome to the F1 Word and to the race watch along for the 2025 Dutch Grand Prix. It's a Sunday and we're going racing again. It's taking you long enough, F1. Where you been? Been waiting. Here we go. Ready for hopefully a really good Grand Prix. I'll do some shout outs in chat in just a moment. We'll run through the grid shortly. It's got a nice itch to start the stream there. There we go. Run through the order in just a second as well. We have had a change to the grid too since yesterday. Nothing major, but still well worth a mention. We'll look at strategy as well, which I'll have a moan about while I'm doing it, etc, etc. I'm just seeing, sorry, the reason I'm a little bit all over the place early doors in this stream, get used to it, is because there's a lot of stuff coming through from race control regarding Hülkenberg, Sainz, Verstappen and Norris being investigated after the race for failing to follow race director's instructions regarding maximum delta time. So there's also a pit entry incident involving Hamilton, which will be investigated after the race, which is a yellow flag infringement. So I don't know what's happening out there. We're not getting any kind of stuff on TV, but something's kicking off. There were double yellows in sector 6 and 17, but I don't know what's happening there. So if anybody's seen anything on TV, please do pop it in chat and let me know what's been going on, because I have no idea what that is all about. I also have no idea why that has to be investigated in 2 hours' time rather than, now. It could just be that it's one of these procedural things that ends up with just a slap on the wrist and they don't do it again, and that's the end of that, and that's maybe why. But it seems a bit odd with so long to go before the start of the race, let alone the finish of it, that we're already talking about investigations. But anyway, let's do some shout outs, then we'll do all the admin, if you want to call it that we need to do going into this one. Hey to Senna, I saw Michael up there as well. Hey Michael. Hey Craig. Hey Eliana, I think it is, says yes Max Verstappen. I agree. Any chance of rain for the race, says Jay Webb. We'll get into that in just a second, mate. Hope you're well. General G, hey to you, says Oscar Piastri 81. Pascal, hey Pascal, says good afternoon Sean and chat, let's hope for a good race. Come on Sauber. Where are they today? 13th and 17th. They could get a point or two, you never know. Ewan, hey to you, mate. I think there will be a big first lap crash and these two McLarens will take each other out. Drama, Ewan, you can come again. Fuzz says I would love a Stroop waffle right now. They do look very, very nice. You can buy them in the UK, but I imagine they're better over in the Netherlands, I'd imagine. Hey Annette, hope you're well. Says good evening, everyone. And hey to Lee as well. Hope you're good too, mate, and ready for the race. The first one for what feels like about 30 years, but it is like, a month? So I don't know why we moan so much, but we do. It's like the winter. It's about 2 days long, but it still feels like forever. Anyway, if you missed qualifying yesterday, I'll run you through the grid super quickly. So Oscar Piastri on pole position, Lando Norris in second, and Max Verstappen third. Curiously yesterday, neither of the top two improved on their second runs in qualifying. A few others didn't as well, so not sure what was going on there. Isaac Hadjar, superb, by the way, in fourth place yesterday. Driver of the day, arguably, with George Russell in fifth. Charles Leclerc sixth and Lewis Hamilton seventh. I'll say for the third time since qualifying yesterday. Given where they were earlier in the weekend, that's not a disaster, but still not where Ferrari want to be. Lawson 8th, good for him. 9th for Sainz. I think Alonso in 10th there will be very disappointed given the pace Aston has shown. Antonelli 11th. Tsunoda 12th. Bortoletto 13th. Gasly 14th. Albon 15th. Colapinto 16th. Hülkenberg 17th. Esteban Ocon 18th, Lance Stroll 19th, and Ollie Behrman will start from the pit lane for a couple of reasons. So I won't read this whole thing out because it's a little bit longer than it needs to be, but, they've got to get the facts in there, so that's fair enough. But after qualifying yesterday, the team, Haas, had failed to cover the car of 87, which is Ollie Behrman, 2 hours after the checkered flag. So that's the rules. You've got to have the car covered within 2 hours of the checkered flag. They didn't, as they were already in trouble, but then they decided to change his ICE. I'll read the full names for new F1 fans. Internal combustion engine, turbocharger, motor generator unit heat, motor generator unit kinetic, control electronics, and engine exhaust system. So he has taken penalties on all of them, a whole new power unit and everything around it. So he will start from the pit lane. So he was probably going to be there anyway, given that they didn't cover the car, and usually that's considered a part firme breach. So when you breach part firme, you're going to be starting from the pit lane. So probably the right thing to do in the end there for Haas, but there we go. Just to let you know. In terms of strategy, yeah. Shall I moan right from the off of the stream? Why not? Let's head over to the full screen of this one. So, very quickly, I mentioned it on Thursday. Pirelli this weekend have gone a step softer because they really wanted to encourage teams to go for a two-stopper. The pit lane speed limit here, I believe, is 80 kilometers an hour this year rather than 60, so that's gone up. They've bought softer tyres to encourage a two-stopper, which is why today Pirelli have said that there'll be a one-stop race, and all the teams are saying the same. So congratulations, Pirelli. You succeeded once again in failing. Lap 28 to 34 if you start on the mediums, and then a hard tie at the end of the race is the one stopper. You can two-stop. Bernie Collins said they might want to. It's all down to traffic, really. Lap 13 to 19 if you want to start on a set of softs, then it's onto the hards, and then mediums to the end, and then it's medium and hard for the final two-stopper option. Lap 18 to 24 would be around your first stop. It looks like we're going to see stops around lap, I think, 18 to 30, somewhere in there. Like a good holiday to Ibiza, and 18 to 30, there you go. So I think that's where we're looking at for first stops, whatever happens. So that's worth bearing in mind. In terms of tyres, if you're interested, some of you like to know this as well. Not really a great shock in what we're seeing there. All of the front runners really have a set of hard tyres available. I assume that the hard tyres on the Ferrari are lightly scrubbed, probably done a few laps, but we'll see. I'll have a look when it all comes through a little bit later. But everyone getting new hards in there pretty much. Lots of mediums and lots of softs as well for those who didn't get much further into qualifying. I think I will say is an intriguing extra set there for Verstappen and Tsunoda of soft tyres, which might make things interesting a little bit later in the race. If we get a super late safety car and Verstappen thinks, let's slap the softs on, that might do something interesting. But let's wait and see. But it is a one-stopper. It's not a great surprise. If F1 teams can no-stop, they would, but they can't, as of the rules, of course. But if they can one-stop, they'll do it. They don't want to come into the pits as many times as possible. They prefer to avoid that. So one-stop isn't a shock, but when you come into a weekend and Pirelli are talking about the changes that have been made to encourage a two-stop and we still get a one-stop, a little bit frustrating, but let's see what happens. Rain-wise, by the way, no rain expected. 20% chance for the start of the race. It's a 40% chance an hour into the race, 4 p.m. local time. So we might see something getting towards the end of the Grand Prix, which might spice things up if it gets a bit flat, but nothing expected at the moment, which is, I've seen a few people in chat say, a little bit frustrating that, I don't know, F1 can't control the weather, and forecasts are generally, they're not total guesswork, of course. There's a lot of science and data behind it, but they're a bit guesswork. We're always guessing in those situations, aren't we? But it's a little bit frustrating given that all week they've teased a wet race, and here we are waiting for the rain to come. So is that Javi Simmons? It is indeed. New Tottenham signing. That's a steal, by the way, at 51 million, I reckon. But anyway, let's not get into football. People won't have enjoyed that one yesterday. Craig says, give Baxter a pat. I will do. He's feeling better today, Craig. You went very well for the last couple of days, but his brother's here for 2 weeks while my parents go away, so he's happy now. They're currently fighting over a squeaky Mr. Potato Head dog toy, so I imagine that'll be destroyed by the time I get downstairs. Pragmatic, hey to you, says, I'm not seeing anything on the FIA website about investigation, so I'm not sure what's going on. It might be something from yesterday that is, or says after the race, so yeah, I'll keep an eye on it. It might be a glitch in the system. They might be testing something. You will see as well, by the way, when we get to the actual watch-along stuff, the driver tracker and that we've got a new driver tracker, MultiViewer, updated today. So it's got the sectors on there, the DRS zones, and it's got the pit lane as well. So it's a little bit more in-depth, I suppose. Maybe. Hey, Lyle says that thoughts on Bottas and Perez both rejecting Alpine. Thank you for your super chat, mate. We'll come to that in just a second. Appreciate your support as always. I'll give you a little love heart there. Thank you very much, mate. Alfie, hey Alfie, says, any footage this week? Lol. Yeah, no footage. Can't show footage. Unless, of course, Alfie, you've got that £1 billion super chat you keep promising, you know. I wonder if you could do a £1 billion super chat. Don't. But yeah, no, I doubt it. Wagering that Hadjar will hold off Hamilton for P6 says Boom Spoon. Hey Boom Spoon. John, hey John, says possible Isaac podium. Would love an Isaac podium. My God, I'd go mad for that. Behrman starting dead last a lot this season, says Jay Webb. He is really. Yeah, Sunrise. Hey Sunrise, says Isaac's podium. It would be amazing. CPB. Hey CPB, says combat. Clap, 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 combat. I have no idea what's going on there, but yeah. Hey Kevin, have you done your rain dance? I have done my rain dance, mate. I stood on the plug earlier, so I did a lot of dancing, so there you go. Oh, that hurt. Pascal, drivers further down the grid might try two stoppers. They got nothing to lose. That's true. I think that the point they're making on Sky there, Bernie Collins, was, is it about, can a McLaren, for example, if they're not interfered with up front, are they going to disappear and build a gap they need back to the midfield so they can one stop probably, but that might give options for others in the midfield. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, bit frustrating over the one stopper. Rumours in the paddock is that Zach Brown is watching the joys of painting with Bob Ross whilst taking Xanax. He might need it. It's got to blow up at some point, hasn't it? Surely. General G, Lando will be looking to come second, and Piastri's going to win today, but he'll either be tightly forced or controversial for some reason. And Luke says, hi Sean, what's your opinion on 2026? I'm not getting into it too much, Luke, because I spend most streams moaning about it, which might give you a hint there, but I wasn't a big fan when it was all announced, and the more I hear about it, the less of a fan I become. So I'm apprehensive about next year, but I wasn't a big fan of the 2014 rules when they came into force, and although they were a little bit meh to start with, they've been fine. I've not got a huge deal with them anymore. So the thing is, with F1 fans, we get over these things. We all kick off about it and moan and say, next year's going to be awful, and then it ends up being a cracking season. We don't care anymore. But at the moment, not looking forward to it, other than the fact it's F1 and I love F1. So maybe in the winter when we've got a bit more time, I'll sit down, see if we can get some guests on, and we'll just really whinge about it for a good hour, as opposed to the 45 minutes I usually do. Lyle wants to know thoughts on Bottas and Perez both rejecting Alpine. As far as we understand it, I have to say we, because I can't just pretend I have all the sources. It's not fair. But as far as we understand it, it's not a case that they rejected Alpine. It's that Alpine, Cadillac put two contracts on the table, one for Bottas, one for Perez. They were guaranteed drives for next year, and they had a choice of that or what Alpine were offering, which was maybe we might possibly have, maybe perhaps one seat next year. Maybe perhaps you might have a chance. There was no guarantee, whereas Cadillac, they knew they had a seat. So when you're a Bottas or a Perez desperate to get back on the grid and you've got a point to prove, you don't want to spend the next, 3-4 months hanging around for a maybe from Alpine when you've got a guaranteed contract on the table. So I said it yesterday, Cadillac, great choice in drivers. I think it really makes sense for their first season, and I think it'll be good for Perez and Bottas, because in many ways, Bottas didn't do a lot wrong to lose his seat, and I think when you look at, with the benefit of nearly a year's worth of hindsight, maybe Perez didn't do an awful lot wrong to lose his seat, given how bad that second car is, but they've both got a point to prove, and coming back to do it sort of outside the spotlight a little bit is maybe good for them as well. So I don't think they rejected Alpine as such, because I don't think there was an actual offer on the table, but Alpine need to get that second seat right, because they could be a dark horse next season. I'm not talking championship necessarily, but a Mercedes engine and a good chassis, I think John T made the point yesterday as well, they could surprise a few next year. So, yeah. Villeneuve basically called Yuki subpar, and Red Bull should get rid of him. He's only there because of Honda. That's from Kevin. Yeah, I put Jacques Villeneuve in the same category as Ralf Schumacher. They'll say something and I'll go, oh, that's nice. And then I just sort of ignore it for a little bit, because, he's not wrong that Yuki Tsunoda hasn't exactly nailed it, but Perez didn't nail it. Albon didn't nail it. Lawson didn't nail it. Gasly didn't nail it. So, I don't. Who are the options? Let's put Hadjar in there and burn through him again. Why not? So we'll see what happens over the winter. Red Bull aren't making a decision until after the season. They tend to do that now a lot, don't they? To be fair, and I don't think we'll hear much from Alpine until the end of the season. I want to see what happens with Colapinto, but there's a question for you, chat. Yes or no? You are Flavio Briatore. Commiserations. Would you keep Colapinto next year? Do you think he's done enough to stay on? Would you keep him? Yes or no? I think I know where most people are going to go. It's not a popularity thing. If you like him, lovely. I like him. I like Colapinto, but I don't think if I was in Flavio's position, I'd keep him for next season. But what are the options out there? Paul Aaron, rookie, in a new set of regulations. Yeah, that's a risk. Bottas and Perez are gone. Could Tsunoda be an option? If Mercedes make a change, might they chase Antonelli for a loan deal or something? I don't know, but I can't see how Colapinto keeps that seat next season unless he does something miraculous between now and the end of the year. But he won't go anywhere before the end of the season. He brings too much money, so there's no way. Build a new team versus walk with a cooked up Italian version of helmet, easy choice, or work. Thank you, Lee. I was like, I didn't know he cooked. There you go. Work. Yeah, fair enough. I can't think. Paul Aaron's the only one I can think of for an Alpine seat next year, honestly. If Yuki isn't in the Red Bull next year, he'll be reserve at Aston Martin for one season. But then Ralf Schumacher's been saying this weekend again, sort of doubling down on his comments. I know that Aston Martin are, apart from essential staff, they're pretty much boycotting Aston Martin and won't let them near the team because they're not happy with some of the things that boycotting Sky Germany because they're not happy with some of the things that Ralf Schumacher said, and he sort of doubled down on that in the last sort of 24 hours or so, and whilst I maybe wouldn't have been as brutal with it as he has been, I think he's got a point, and I've long since said on this channel that if Lawrence Stroll genuinely wants to win constructors titles, then he's going to need a better second driver, or for a second driver to step up. I don't think that's a controversial comment, but I suppose he's the son of the owner, so they don't want too much of that negativity around there. I just don't think it's that controversial, but I also know that Ralf Schumacher will have padded that out with a lot of controversial statements, and that's what the likes of him and Montoya and Villeneuve do to desperately stay relevant. So I don't mind the old sensationalist headline or sensationalist comment, and I'll often joke around with you lot and make the odd comment like that, but I kind of past that now. I've had my ranty, screamy, shouty phase of YouTube. I'm very much kind of like, I just want to watch my F1 and hang out with some people who enjoy it as well. So let's just talk about it. It doesn't all need to be sensationalised. I know that's the way the world's going, click, click, click and all that. But interesting news, by the way. Now we get back to the race. Risk of rain for the race is now 60%, around 4 o'clock, according to the FIA. So we've got about an hour till we see any rain. Of course, if it rains too heavily, the race will be stopped and won't go anywhere. But they're showing that weird Lynx advert now where they sniff people's crotches for some reason. I don't know, Michael. Are you on MultiViewer as well? It's not just my MultiViewer playing up then. I'm not sure what this yellow flag incident is. I've not seen or heard anything yet. I will just check the group chat in case there's something in there, but it's interesting that they're being investigated already. I assume that's a procedural thing, probably, to be fair, Michael. I think probably one of those things where they're just below or just over a certain time and they'll probably get a slap on the wrist and nothing else, because there might be some mitigating circumstances. Were they moving out the way for other cars, for example? But the yellow flag one's an interesting one, because that's usually... red flags tend to be slam dunk, don't they? Regardless, yellow flags generally are, but sometimes there's a bit of leeway. So they might mention something in comms shortly. They are about to kick off with the music, and that's will get sorted with all the watchalong, and that's. I have Crofty in my ear now. Yeah, it's dry right now, Jithu. Yeah. Every YouTube headline. Yeah. Come on, Sean. Jack Villeneuve is right. I don't. It's. You know me, Kevin. I'll always try and be balanced on this, mate. But I don't. I get really fed up of people like Villeneuve and Schumacher and other creators and other people on social media and F1 fans going, Yuki should have been in that car. Yuki should have been in that car from the start of the season. He's proven himself. He should have been at Red Bull. Why are they messing about with Lawson? Then Tsunoda gets in. He's trash. What a waste of time that was. Come on, I know you, Kevin. You know me, mate. But, you've got Tsunoda is struggling in that car, having delivered enough in most people's minds to have been given a shot in that car. Lawson, who did all right at Racing Bulls, has got in that car and has struggled. Perez, who we know in midfield disappointing cars can pick up podiums and big points, ultimately failed, but probably did the best of anyone else. You put Daniel Ricciardo in that car, he fails. You put Isaac Hadjar in the car, he probably fails. You put most drivers on the grid in that car, they're probably going to fail. I don't think this is a talent issue with Yuki Tsunoda. So whilst I agree that his performances have been disappointing and his results have been disappointing, I don't put that all on Yuki Tsunoda, like I refused for months and months and months, if not 2 whole years, to put it on Sergio Perez, much to the disgust of, I think Raul was quite annoyed at me at times. I've not seen him in chat for a while, so I was quite defensive of Perez way too often. But I'm not going to lump all that on Yuki Tsunoda. He needs to do better, but Red Bull need to give him the car capable of doing better. But all of that said, and without sounding too much of a hypocrite, I do think that car is bad, but I do probably think it's better than perhaps it's being shown to be. But then what options do they have? You can't put Hadjar in there now. You put him in there now, that's another driver's career ruined. So it's... Yeah. Ben was starting to pit lane. Yes, he is. Platalobi was in the pit lane. 2 breaches technically, but I think he's gone down as 1. So Site shows some light rain hitting the track around 15:15. That could be fun. Just a bit of, yeah, that'd be good. CPB is, quote, say, Kimi is the second coming of Christ. 6 months later, Kimi overhyped, question mark. Exactly. It's poor. It's just years and years of... Very quickly, from the team's perspective, it's years and years of driver mismanagement. From F1's perspective, actually, it's not, because we've got the likes of Carlos Sainz in the sport, Alex Albon, Pierre Gasly. So they've had good drivers. They just haven't managed them well at Red Bull or brought them through too early. So I think a lot of the top teams, if they had a seat open and it was available, might chase Gasly. But that said, they didn't, did they? So maybe I'm wrong. But anyway, let's go away from driver speculation. We have a race to watch. Sean's got an itch year. There you go. Little flick of the ear, all sorted. Let's get everything set up, though. So, as always, the usual caveats. No on-track footage for obvious copyright reasons. Until Alfie sends us that £1 billion, there's not a lot I can do. But we have got live timing and driver tracker provided by MultiViewer. I'm just going to call them MultiViewer. They've not got for F1 on their thing anymore, so we'll call it MultiViewer. Link in the description to check them out. You can have as much data, as little data as you like on your viewing experience. I like as much as possible because it's great for doing these watch-alongs. And thank you to those guys. Do go check them out. F1 TV subscription needed. You can get the basic one at F1 TV Access, which is £2.29 in the UK a month, but it is free as an app. So they don't sponsor, but I like to give them a shout out because they're letting us use their stuff. So that's fair enough. I can't put the live radar up because I don't think I'm supposed to be in there, but I'm in there anyway. So I can't put it on stream because it's not ours to use. So there we go. But I will keep an eye on it for you. Don't worry, I'll keep an eye on the radar. There is some rain around, and you can see it there. Actually, you can see it actually around the circuit in the distance. There is some, looks like some showers, but yesterday, curiously, we saw rain in the sea and not anywhere else. But here we go. Here is your grid. Back to front. Ollie Behrman will start from the pit lane on a hard set of tyres with Lance Stroll starting at the very back of the grid on mediums. Esteban Ocon is P18. He'll start on a set of hards with softs for Hülkenberg in 17th and for Franco Colapinto in 16th. Watch those two off the line. Alex Albon, 15th, and Gasly in 14th. Both those starting on the mediums with Gabriel Bortoleto already in the argument for Rookie of the Year now. 13th with mediums. We don't know what Tsunoda's on just yet, but he is 12th. I'll tell you as soon as that comes in. Antonelli 11th. He's on the mediums. And Alonso in 10th is also on the medium tyre as well. Carlos Sainz in 9th place. Let's see if we can get some points for Williams today. That'd be decent. Medium tyre for him. And then on to the next row, it's Lawson in 8th and Lewis Hamilton in 7th. Both of those starting on the mediums. Lawson, maybe more pace in that car, given what Hadjar did yesterday. Can Hamilton turn these around after Hungary? 6th for Charles Leclerc. And 5th for George Russell. Again, both on the medium tyres. This could get spicy, though. Hadjar in 4th place in the Racing Bulls on the mediums. Max Verstappen in 3rd starts on the soft tyre with Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris locking out the front row. Once again, Piastri on pole, Norris in P2, both on the mediums. Red Bull going racy because Tsunoda is on the soft tyre as well. This could be interesting into turn 1. Thank you, Alfie, for the super chat. Says first instalment, £5. Thank you very much, mate. We're nearly there. I appreciate the support there, mate. And I'm only giving you grief for no reason. You know me, but yeah. We are ready to go. Oh, yes. So an interesting mix of strategy there, actually. A lot on the mediums, but we've got softs, like I say, for Verstappen, Tsunoda, Colapinto and Hülkenberg. Then the hards for the two Haas drivers. Surprise Stroll isn't on the hards, actually. I think that would have been, if ever we've got a chance for a good classic Aston Martin hard tyres run as long as humanly possible on them and nick a point, today was a day for Stroll, but we'll see what happens there. If the rain comes later, it could be bad for Red Bull starting on soft, says Fudd. It could be. If they could stretch this out a little bit, though, unless they're thinking early safety car, maybe they, as some of you in chat have predicted, are expecting the two McLarens to collide in turn 1 and give us a safety car. So there you go. I'll end the poll as well. Thank you for your predictions on that one. Who do you think will win the Dutch Grand Prix? 57% Piastri, 20% Norris, 14% Verstappen, and other 7%. I think we're all caught up. I ended a poll before the race started. That's a miracle. I'm looking forward to that. I've had a bit of I've been doing me track maps and that or working on previous stuff for next week. But I've also sorted out installed a tumble dryer. I pushed it against the wall and plugged it in, and also built a new chair downstairs. So I've been busy. Been busy this morning, so it's nice to sit back and relax and watch some racing whilst talking to you guys. This is work. I've got the nerve to call this work. My partner hates the fact to call this work, but it is work. And it's just amazing, so I can't complain. No way, Kevin, he will give Max room. Why do I think Hadjar is going to come together with Max? Oh, do you know? How to lose yourself a shot at a Red Bull seat. No, I think he'll be fine. He'll be fine. But yeah, that is the new track map, by the way, that was mentioning there. It actually looks better on the stream. It looks a bit low res on the... It might be the DRS stuff that's doing that rather than anything. It just looks a bit janky. Rain expected in 12 minutes. It's changed. We have a yellow warning on the official forecast now. Rain expected in 12 minutes, 15:12 for 14:12 UK. So this is going to be great. Yeah. How dare I... Right? So, how dare I work? How dare I work? I will say, partner doesn't complain about it being called work when they get to buy things, by the way. I'll say that, right? Yeah. When payday comes, I love you more than ever. Here we go then. We are on a formation lap. I think watch out for the soft tyres at the start from Max Verstappen. McLaren it's not a particularly long run to turn one, is it? But McLaren might need to work together early doors to keep him behind if that does give a bit of grip off the line. But yeah, let's see what happens. Verstappen has won 3 of the last 4 races here, or 3 since it came back. So yeah, the soft tyre starters do have an advantage. Good point, Hansi. If we get the rain in 12 minutes as predicted, or in 11 minutes now, it's getting closer. I tell you what, I will say that the skies are getting dark. They are. I mean, the clouds have been around pretty much all weekend. It's been chucking it down in the sea. I wouldn't mind, rain gods, if possible, have something similar to 2023. Let's get halfway around the first lap and then just chuck it down. That's what I want. I don't want it. If it starts chucking it down now, they'll abort the start and be like, oh, better put the intermediates on and put the safety car out. And so we need to get the race underway, because that was a lot of fun 2023. In fact, I believe, and I forgot to check, so again, correct me if I'm wrong, but most overtakes in F1 history in a race in 2023 here, because of all the chaos of people on the wrong tyres and then on the right tyres and then the wrong tyres, and it was a lot of fun. It was hard to keep up with. And Verstappen won, was that Verstappen, Alonso, Gasly, the podium in 2023? That was good fun. Before we start though, by the way, please do drop a like. Would appreciate that. 38 likes already, so thank you very much everybody for the thumbs up. But please do drop a like and subscribe as well if you are new and looking forward to this race. Lots to come this weekend and this season. Thomas will be with you tomorrow with a end of weekend roundup or a talking point video, whichever one, depends what kind of race we get. And I'll be back on, Sam will do some shorts, and I'll be back on Thursday with the preview, and then we go again with the streams for the weekend before a little break ahead of Baku. So lots to come. So your company is appreciated, and I do enjoy it. So as I've said many times before, I'd only be sat on the sofa talking to myself, so I may as well talk to you guys while I'm doing it. So yeah, the bank corners are steep, Kevin. You always catch me out around Zandvoort, but here we go. Oh, I was correct. Was a John? Nice. I had it in my head. Gasly got a podium. I thought Alonso was competitive that weekend, but I need to stop leaning away. The mic doesn't do well back there. But into the pits comes Behrman. He's starting in the pit lane, of course, but everyone is lining up on the grid. Here we go. The green flag at the back. I'll count down the lights. 1 light, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. And we go in Zandvoort. It's a good start for Piastri, but has Norris actually got a slightly better start? No, he hasn't. He's already under threat here from Max Verstappen, who goes around the outside of Lando Norris at turn 1, but he gets squeezed by Piastri, which allows Norris provisionally back through, but Verstappen is going to go for it around the outside too, and he's got a slide on, and he's nearly, how has he not ploughed into the side of somebody there, Max Verstappen? That was a moment, but what a start for Verstappen, determined to get ahead of Norris, and he is ahead of him now, but that's going to hurt. Lando off the line there. I thought now Norris got a decent start actually, but Piastri got away a little bit better, and Verstappen gave him all sorts of grief. But how did Max not lose that into turn 3? I thought it was in the wall. His car was all over the place. That was nervy. But he's okay. Those soft tyres working for him at the minute. Rain is 8 minutes away. Who else had a good start? Good start for Albon, up 5 places into P10. What a start for him. And Hadjar stays P4. Leclerc is ahead of George Russell. So good stuff from Hadjar. I know he's Russell having a little look at Leclerc, but isn't going to get through there. And as always, the driver track is just having a bit of a moment on the first couple of laps. So that'll refresh itself. I'll give it a refresh as well in a bit to make sure all is okay. Oh, but round it. That is a great start for Alex Albon up to 5th place. He's on the mediums as well. Charles Leclerc needs to clear Isaac Hadjar here. Looks like he's got some good pace early doors here, Leclerc. Is he going to have a look into turn 1 on Hadjar? He is going to have a look, and Hadjar goes a little bit defensive there and covers that line quite nicely. Norris falling back from Verstappen now. And actually, if anything, Norris is going to come under pressure from Isaac Hadjar here at the moment, but it is still very early doors. Love that banking. Leclerc well over the white line there with his 4 wheels. It is a great track, Nick. It's a great track to watch cars on. It's just not going to promote great racing. But that said, that was quite a spicy first lap at the moment, by the way. Oscar Piastri pulling away 1.4 seconds. I wonder if I'm wrong here on me thingy. Let's see. The TV seems to be a bit ahead of me here at the moment, but that's fine. We're good. It's just a guide. That's all it is. So we'll see how we go. I'll refresh it if I need to. But gap is 1.5 at the moment. Where are the drivers anyway? They're just coming through. Yeah, the driver tracker is way off. They're coming through turn 10 at the moment. So I will give it a refresh and hope it all works out. Apologies. These things happen, don't they? To me. Always to me. It's a new update as well, so it might have a few teething issues, but I'll try my best to keep you updated. Well, hopefully it'll all sort itself out, but we'll see how we go. 1.6 actually, the gap at the front, not 1.3, but that will hopefully change. So, Oscar Piastri is leading, 1.4 clear as they go across the start-finish line. The driver tracker is way off. Yep, I'll have a look at it in a sec. Let's just see these first couple of laps through, and then I'll try and alter what I can on this one. But they're all coming through turn 2 and 3 at the moment, so it might be a case of closing it and rebooting it, but Hamilton all over Russell. Hadjar now dropping back from Norris a little bit now. So, 7/10. He's got the DRS, hasn't he? So, I'm just going to close all this and reopen and restart it. So, apologies in advance just for that if it disappears. But it should be okay. Hopefully, all good. 9.5, don't we? There we go. Just a reminder, if you are just tuning in, I have no control over this MultiViewer stuff, of course. That's all from somebody else, so I can't. Not a lot I can do if it doesn't work, so I apologise, but I'll hopefully get it all sorted for you as best I can. I think we're still way off, but yeah. We expect Class 1 rain in 8 minutes around lap 7 is what Piastri is being told at the moment, so yeah. Poor start from Bortoletto, says Pascal. Where is he down in 19th? Yeah, it's a shocking start. He was 13th, wasn't he, on the grid? So interested to see what happened. We saw what happened at the front, but really want to see what happened a bit further back there. Could be interesting. Oscar Piastri still well clear up front at the moment. Yeah, well, 2 secs, everyone. I am watching the race. I don't want to go start. I hate dead air. It really annoys me, but just give me a second. We're having a little bit of sync issues here. I don't know what is going on with the time. We are well behind, so it could just be teething issues, but I'll try and sort it as we go, but I can't promise anything. We are actually on lap 4, not lap 3, so it may be a case of a hard reset in just a second. But did Norris spot the start? I don't know. I think he got an okay start. Piastri was sort of kept the lead. In fact, they may have even been fairly equally away. But then Verstappen went around the outside, tried to have a look at Piastri, got sort of pinched on the exit a bit, or squeezed on the exit, and that allowed Norris back through. But then Verstappen just threw it past Norris into turn 2 and sort of all over the place with his car through on the run to turn 3, and eventually got the move done. But it was a little bit harem-scarum, something like that. Yeah, it was a little bit all over the place, but yeah, he managed to make that stick in the end of Verstappen. So all good. We're also, I've just noticed, on best lap rather than last lap, which isn't helping anything at the moment. So yeah, here we go. So yeah. Well, Crofty's saying he thinks Norris got a better start and Oscar covered him. So I don't know if that's everyone else's view, but that's what I mean. Verstappen sort of loses it to Norris, then just throws it in there. Says, "Look, I'm coming through. Get out of my way." And it gets on it's all the dust he kicks up and all over the place. How on earth that Red Bull wasn't in the wall at turn 3 is absolutely beyond me. I mean, it's Max Verstappen, isn't it? So that's probably wide, but I have no idea how he kept that out of the wall. That was quite the impressive moment. Let's have a look. So there's all the dirt on the exit. He just, oh, God, it's a heck of a chop. Well controlled, and he keeps second place. So it's worked out for him in the end, Max Verstappen. But yeah, 4.9 seconds with the reaction time. Look, sorry, 0 to 200 and 510 Ferrari. Look at that. It was just a dirty off the racing line, the dirty offline dust and all that. But Hadjar 1.2 behind Norris at the moment, by the way. Bortoletto, sluggish off the line. Bogged down quite a bit there, did Gabriel Bortoletto off the line and never really got going. So that's why he is where he is. So, yeah. Rain is close. And this is Stroll going past Bortoletto around the outside at the chicane at turn 11. There is a little bit of contact there, actually, but not actually a bad move from Stroll. Bear with me, everyone. I am just going to put the photos back up while I completely hard reset this entire multi-viewer thing, because I'm not sure what is going on here. So let's see if we can get this sorted for you, because I can imagine the difference is going to start to annoy people. So I'll try my best to resolve the issue. Where are we? The Dutch Grand Prix, aren't we? There we go. So let's go there. See what we can do. It will take me a second just to sort everything out. So rain in 3 minutes according to the official F1 graphic on the television there. So not far away if we are going to get rain. Hopefully we get something. It doesn't need to necessarily be rain, but or heavy rain, just something to spice things up a little bit. Kevin says, hello, Dartmouth, my old friend. Yeah, technical issues, and there's nothing I can do about it. It's not software I have any control over, I'm afraid. All I can do is turn it off and on again, I'm afraid, which is a shame, but these things happen. We're watching the race. I could talk you through it. Even if it's a lap behind, it's still roughly where we should be. So, it's Zandvoort. And by a lap behind, I mean 3 laps behind, substantially behind at the moment. So, yeah. I shouldn't have updated today. Never update software when you've got plans to be live. Always do it the day after. So it's probably on me, really, but there you go. I don't like the rain updates. I want mystery. Yeah, let's have mystery. No more rain talk, chat. Just as soon as it starts to spit, we'll start to get excited. I think that's, yeah. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? I kind of miss the days of, less data where you just found out when you found out. Stuff happened and that was it. Yeah, we're still way behind. Nothing to do. Sorry, folks. I'll keep it out for anyone moaning in chat about it, but if you are in chat, please do just let them know. Not a lot I could do about it. I'll have to fix this on the fly now, aren't I? Which is going to be fun. I hate doing the track map on the fly. That'll do. It's behind anyway, so yeah. We are actually on lap 8, by the way, not lap 5. So that's the first thing to make the point of. And they're all coming through turn 1, squabbling at the moment. What are we watching? A battle for 4th and 5th between Hadjar and Leclerc. So let's see what's going to happen here. And Norris is just now closing in on Verstappen. I wonder if we had a couple of laps of just tyre management and staying out of the dirty air. Maybe, but he's closing the gap now. So, Piastri's got a 2.5 second lead. In fact, he has got a 4 second lead now. The time is completely wrong on here. So, 4 second lead at the moment. I'm just going to check and see if there's anything on the Discord from MultiViewer watching this. Always fun on the fly. Always fun. But it's quite a hefty gap. Yeah, a lot of people saying there are definitely issues. So, unfortunately, there's nothing to do. So I would have to just run you through the order. I'll do it every few laps like we do in testing. But respectfully, I'm not going to sit and stare at technical issues for the next 68 laps when I want to be watching my racing, because here goes Lando Norris on Max Verstappen into turn 1. Verstappen covering the inside. Is he going to squeeze Norris out around the outside? I imagine he will. Norris is going to go around the outside though and makes the move stick. He's up into P2. Max Verstappen. I feel if Max was in this title fight, Norris would have run out of road there, but not a lot of point for Max today, is there, given that at the moment he's looking pretty good for P3. Long old way to go, but yeah, that was a tough move in the end. They've pitted Stroll for hard tyres when rain is on the horizon, which is interesting. Unless they're just they're not expecting it to rain hard enough for Inters. Maybe that's what we're expecting here. So, but yeah, it's turn 1 for Norris making it stick. Nilesh ran the outside, really nice move. But like I said, I think had that been a title fight, Verstappen would have shoved him out wide there. So, yeah, which is exactly fun. He didn't fight too hard, which is telling. So, yeah, apologies. I could, Quinn. I could pause the live feed till I got. The problem is that everyone else will have to pause it. And it's just a little bit of a pay. There'll be people watching this now, watching on TV. It'll be lap 9, and I'm here on lap 6. So I could do that, but it would just be, I think, a bit awkward for everybody else, and it would still be slightly out as well. So it might update itself and sort itself out. So I'll keep refreshing it every so often, and we'll see how we go. But other than that, mate, I appreciate the idea. I get what you're saying, but a little bit tricky to do that when we're a live event. If we were doing like a classic F1 watch on, that would have been fine. But yeah, I'm surprised, Addy Boy. I'm not totally sure why, mate. Why they've decided to pit him now. A little bit shocking, or a little bit surprising. Sorry, not shocking. I'm not horrified by it. But let's have a run through on lap 10 of 72. Ignore unless you are 4 laps behind, ignore the timing time there. It is wrong at the moment. So lap 10 of 72, Oscar Piastri leads Lando Norris by 4.3 seconds. Then Verstappen is third, 2 seconds further back. They are getting ready for a stop at Alpine. Hadjar 2.1 further back in P4. Charles Leclerc is 5th, half a second behind Hadjar, with Russell in 6th and Hamilton in 7th. 8 tenths there between Russell and Hamilton. Lawson is still 8th, 2.3 behind Hamilton, and Sainz in 9th with Alex Albon. Probably starter of the day, really, up 5 places off the line into P10. Tsunoda is 11th, Antonelli is 12th, and Alonso 13th. Colapinto 14th, ahead of Gasly, interestingly enough. 15th for Gasly, 16th for Hulkenberg, 17th Ocon, 18th Bortoletto, 19th Behrman, and 20th is Lance Stroll. Battles-wise, a bit of a gap. Albon to Tsunoda, and then Tsunoda's got Antonelli right behind him, then Alonso right behind him, Colapinto behind him. It's a bit of an Antonelli train at the moment in that midfield. Rain is expected, drops at times is what they're being told on the radar and radio. So let's see what happens with the rain. It's around. That's all I'm going to say. It is around. We'll see what happens from there. I am going to keep checking on my Discord just to see if there's any updates from people. But there's definitely a few issues with it. So, like I said, it's a new update. I shouldn't have updated it, really. That was my fault. I should have just stuck with the old one, but I don't know how to roll back, and I haven't got the time to work it out on stream. So, unless you want total silence for hours on end, which is possible, I can do it. Looks like McLaren Supreme against this Tommy. Yeah, they're in control here, aren't they? Very much at the moment. 4 seconds Piastri to Norris, and already 3.5 back to Verstappen. So Norris is P2. No, you go for soft because hards are harder to heat up. As Leclerc has a look, they're probably getting betting for no rain. Yeah, that has to be. I mean, it's just a strange strategy call, isn't it? But then you've got Gasly, or not Gasly, Alpine, sorry, getting ready for Gasly or Colapinto, sort of hovering around a tyre. So is it actually a case that we're getting to the point now where maybe we are going to push to a 2-stopper? Are these tyres maybe not lasting as long as they expected? Is the track a bit rougher than they were expecting today, maybe, is what I'm getting up with. But yeah, probably best that the issue happens at this track since dirty air is so bad. Yeah, that's true, Nilesh. Lots of changes in the order that aren't through yet. So I'll try not to bleat on about it, but it's annoying my OCD more than it's annoying anybody else, I can assure you of that. But I can only apologise. I'm a bit scared about Bortoletto's front wing. It's flapping, says Behrman. Behrman's behind Bortoletto, so he's done well to spot that, unless it's really flapping. That'll be the contact with Stroll, won't it, that's caused that? So, yeah, interesting. No sign of any heavy rain. Drops at times is what the radars say. I've not seen much out there in terms of rain, but it might just make things a little bit greasy. They have noted the incident between Stroll and Bortoletto, by the way. So, yes. Yeah, we know, Addy Boy. It's an issue with MultiViewer. I've checked on Discord. A few having the same problem, so I can't do it with it, I'm afraid, mate. It's a bit frustrating, but I shouldn't have updated before we came into the race, but I did, so. And I can't roll back on stream. I could, but I think it'd be silence and faffing for ages. So, Zero says, did I miss anything? A few bits. There was a great start for Albon up to P5, up to P10 from P15, so up 5 places. Verstappen got ahead of Norris at the start with some bold driving offline, which I still think was incredible. All over the place his car was, but he got it to stick. Norris has since got back through. If you have just joined us, by the way, Zero, ignore the timing tower. It's wrong. So Norris is P2, Verstappen P3. Norris got back through. Stroll and Bortoletto, a little bit of contact at turn 11. Possible damage to the front wing of the Saab, which is flapping around according to Behrman. So, but otherwise, it's very DRS trainy at the moment, very dirty air. So Piastri in control, though. I think the timing tower is about to show you Norris going past Verstappen. But yeah, I think soft tyres they worked initially, but Verstappen now 5.8 behind Norris. So yeah, there you go. Disappointing. If you're a Max Verstappen fan, see if this might work, actually. I don't know if it will. I'll try it. No, made no difference at all, Sean. Worth a go. So we're on lap 14, not lap 9. Norris is P2, not P3. I'm watching Lance Stroll here. We're going to watch on Stroll. I'd say it was debut on the racing line here, which I assume is from Bortoletto, and he does hit it, does Stroll. So... No, they were the hard tyres. So it wasn't why they pitted him, so that's that then. But yeah, they've noted the incident. So yeah, not sure why you keep doing that, but there we go. Trying to work out where the battles are coming from here. Antonelli still right in the back of Tsunoda. Alonso not far back. Alonso down to 13, so he had a bad start as well. So I missed that one at the start. Colapinto's up 2, so he's done all right. Bortoletto bogged down off the line, so that's why he's down 5 places. Hamilton 1.2 behind Russell. Leclerc still a second behind Hadjar, so there's not a lot of battling out there, except really for Tsunoda and Antonelli for P11. But I've got drops of rain on my visor, says Piastri. He's been the first one, of course, to come across any rain. Norris, by the way, got down to 3 seconds. Was higher than that, so he's coming back at him. This McLaren is something else, says Joe. Yeah, it's a hell of a car, isn't it? They've built a monster, and it's not. They're not going to get caught in, not just in terms of championship, but in terms of pace. They will. There'll be odd races where they have bad weekends or off weekends, but they're going to pretty much dominate between now and the end of the season because nobody's developing their car now. A few updates this weekend, some track specific, but nothing major, and that'll be pretty much it now. With the flyaways on the horizon, you might see some stuff for Monza, but most of the updates that come to tracks now will be track specific, low downforce stuff, high downforce stuff, things like that. So that has gone off Bortoletto's wing. Yeah, no meatball flag. Strange. Let me just try something. I don't think this will work, but I'm going to try it anyway. Hells, they've got 2 title contenders rather than a first and second driver situation pushes it further. Yeah, very true. Very true. Colapinto been told to swap position with Gasly, so I can't say Colapinto's pace at the moment. So much rain by that 10. Aston might have been onto something. Yeah. I mean, look, Aston made... Was it Hungary where Aston made that cracking strategy call, or was it Belgium? They made a really great call. It could have even been Silverstone when we had rain last. They made a great call with Stroll, tyre-wise. He did like 3 laps on the soft. It was Silverstone, wasn't it? And then came in, and he jumped so many positions. It was in the fight for a podium at one point. So, you know, they do get it right. Silverstone, yeah, thank you, Joe. I thought it came to me halfway through the set. Like, hey, it's Silverstone, yeah, because Hulkenberg got a podium. Still can't believe that, so... Yeah, Max is dropping off now. I've set the delay, by the way, to 0, but it's not made any difference. So it must just be a MultiViewer problem. I'll keep apologising. If you're here for the whole stream, it's going to annoy the hell out of you. I do apologise, but people come in and out all the time, so I need to let them know that is wrong. Really, there's a temptation to turn it all off and not bother, but it's that would just be worse, I think, than having something there. Empty space. There are spots of rain on the camera lens, and it does look a little bit hazier out there. Reviewed no further investigation, by the way, for the Stroll and Bortoletto one. That was about 7 laps ago. That was decided. So there we go. We're on lap 17 now. Yeah, just so you know. So unsafe condition, Bortoletto under investigation. So we have got rain. It is spots of rain. It's not anything heavy just yet, but that'll make drivers think twice in some places. But Antonelli all over Yuki Tsunoda here. This is where the bat is going to get good. Hopefully something happens soon because, yeah, fans are putting their rain jackets on. Good shout, Kevin. It's raining, says the FIA system. 11 minutes until it stops. They're very specific, aren't they? 11 minutes. They've got the data, I haven't, so there you go. I wonder if there's been a... Sorry. I hate when things play up. It really annoys me because I start hyper-focusing on that rather than what I should be focusing on. So, I'm going to see if they've said anything. They might have said something on Twitter. It's not called Twitter anymore, is it? So, yeah. No, nothing at the moment. So, yeah. The order, though. Piastri is... Yeah, so it's Piastri leading, Norris is second, Verstappen third, Hadjar fourth, Leclerc fifth, Russell sixth, Hamilton seventh, Lawson eighth, Sainz ninth, Albon 10th. In fact, actually, to be fair, the gaps are wrong on the timing tower, but that is the order. That has not changed any time recently, so yeah. But the rain is coming. It is rain. It's not heavy rain, it's spots of rain. See it on the camera lens. Obviously, it'll look worse if you've got an F1 car to drive, but it's 3.2 the gap at the front, by the way, so that's what I need to update you on. But with the tech issues, I kind of hope it doesn't rain because it's going to get chaotic and I won't be able to keep up. But yes, that is the situation as it is. 10 seconds out of the gap, Norris to Verstappen. I mean, that is how quickly that McLaren has disappeared. That is rapid, isn't it? I mean, well, we could do this 7 laps ago, it was 3.5 seconds. So there you go. Nilo says behind it there's another 2-3 minutes of light rain in 30 minutes, so we've got some more rain potential. It did say 4 o'clock local time, 3 o'clock local time. No, it is 4 o'clock local time. Sorry, I'm a little bit off today because qualifying threw me off yesterday because it usually starts at 3 UK and it started at 2, so it's confused me the whole weekend. As Alonso's in for a set of hard tyres, that'll put him back down the order, but clearly Aston not expecting any significant rain at this point in the race, so they're going to send Alonso out on hard tyres. But there is rain around, that's all I can say. So yeah, there we go. Driver track is frozen again, of course it has. Piastri comes through the final corner. Looking okay out there. 3.3 is the gap, but Norris sort of eking in a little bit, closing that gap down a tad. But yeah, hats and coats are going on, and brollies are going up in the grandstand. So, how are the tyres? How is the pace? Yeah, starting to struggle a little bit more now with the rear, says Lando Norris on lap 20 to his team. This McLaren feels so much like the Mercedes of old, where they just walk away from anything unless someone chucks it in turn one. Yeah, in that respect, yeah, I agree, Joe. The only thing I would say is that when going back to those days, when Mercedes used to fall into traffic, they could not pass, whereas the McLaren seems to be able to. So I think it has positives. Positive traits of the Mercedes all over, and it gets rid of some of the negatives as well somehow. So the rain is fake, says Sighted Canvas. Yeah, it's all a conspiracy. I'd say it's raining heavier actually. It's not heavy, but it's heavier than it was. I'm starting to see the spots of rain not just on the camera lens, but actually falling. So it's the specs, it's the rain specs. Yeah, the hards for Yuki. They've gone on. Yeah, it is actually raining now. Or is that Brown just put on the pit wall? It's doing that. Well, I assume that's what he was talking about. I mean, if they want to have those conversations, that's up to them. But yeah, that's what he did after he put his hand out there. So, trouble is, if it stops in 7 minutes, even if you get close to Inters, do you save the stop? I know you've got to be on the right time at the right time. Martin's not here, so I'll say it. But yeah. Right time at the right time and all that, but do you stick it out and just hope to keep it? We saw that in 23, didn't we? Can you get close to the car ahead? Maybe a touch is what Norris says on the radio. Track surface slippery in track sector 15. That always catches me off the wording of those things. So slippery track in sector 15. Where is sector 15? That's got to be... Oh, they don't put the sectors on the map today, so I don't know. Yeah, softs have to pit early, definitely. If it hasn't reached Inter's even close to Inter by now, it's Inter's never, says Nilesh. It depends on... I mean, if one of these clouds just opens up, it might do. But if it stays at this intensity, there's no need to be putting intermediates on anytime soon. So you stick it out, don't you? Basically. That'd be the is it final corner, sector 15? Okay. I get confused between sectors and corners. 500 races or 500 World Championship rounds for Pirelli, by the way. Crofty just mentioning that in the commentary. I forgot to mention it in the preview. It was on their press release and I ignored it. But yeah, 500 races or World Championship races for Pirelli this weekend. So yeah, just if anyone's interested in stats, that's the one for your pub quiz. If you go to one next weekend, how many races? Well, 501 now, but yeah, you know, 500. Lap 22 of 72. We'll run through the order quickly. Piastri, 3.5 clear of Lando Norris. Max Verstappen in third, 13.6 seconds further back. It's 2 seconds back to Hadjar, who I've got to say, doing a cracking job actually there to stay that close. Charles Leclerc in 5th place, 1.6 back, with Russell 1.8 further back in 6th, and Hamilton now within a second of Russell in P7. Lawson 6.4 behind Hamilton, and Sainz 1.2 further back in 9th. Albon is in 10th place, 2.1 seconds is the gap. Antonelli in 11th, 5.1 behind. Gasly 12th, 4.8 behind. They're talking about the undercut of Ferrari with Lewis Hamilton, so just bear that in mind. Gasly 12th, 4.8. Ocon 13th, 4.2 behind Gasly. Bortoletto 1.6 behind. Behrman 15th is 6/10 behind. Stroll a second further back in 16th. Alonso 17th, 1.3, sorry, behind Stroll. 13 behind Stroll, apparently. Tsunoda 3.8 off Alonso. Colapinto 19th, 3.7. Hulkenberg in 20th. Stop so far for Stroll, Tsunoda, Alonso, Hulkenberg. Bortoletto didn't pit, did he? We've got a Ferrari now. It's Charles Leclerc. Everything's going to be off for me today, isn't it, on the stats? And that's I'll struggle with this one. Charles Leclerc pits, puts on the hard tyre. So obviously they're not expecting any kind of big downpour. Otherwise they wouldn't. Well, it's Ferrari we're talking about. They might have done. Yeah, no need to pit otherwise. So. Oh, Hamilton's in the wall. Hamilton has crashed at turn 3. On the exit of turn 3, I can tell you what's happened. I mean, he's got up on the curb. That'll be a safety car. Awful timing for a lot of the grid. Perfect timing for Max Verstappen. McLaren could double start. They've got a bit of a gap, but Lewis Hamilton is in the wall, which I've got to say, given the weekend he's been having, that's going to be doubly frustrating for him because he's actually driven much better. So Lewis Hamilton out of the Dutch Grand Prix. 16 seconds is your time lost under the safety car. This might allow me to go and play around MultiViewer once we've seen replays and things. So in comes Piastri. Norris will have to pit as well. He does indeed. The rain is really coming down, though, in some areas. I wonder if he's got caught by a damp patch. So a slowish stop for Piastri, 2.6. In comes Norris. His stop will be really slow for Norris in the end there. And by really slow, I mean 4.5 seconds. It doesn't really matter behind the safety car because of course they're all going to close up, but he's definitely slower there. I'll be honest, it's the kind of rain I don't even think I'd bother putting a coat on for, to be honest. Too much hassle. Hassle was what I said. Lots of cars pitting. I'm going to struggle to keep up with it. Verstappen, Hadjar, Russell all in. Most will pit, I would imagine, if everyone who hasn't pitted already. I mean, yeah, Lawson in, Sainz in. I assume Albon will follow him in. Leclerc will keep going, of course. Awful timing for Leclerc, by the way. Thanks, Lewis. Your teammate there got shafted a bit by the timing of that one, didn't he? But he's still P6 at Leclerc, so it's not a total disaster for him in the end. He's going to be where he was. But, yeah, that's going to ruin his chance of an undercut, which will be a shame. Gasly in, Antonelli in as well. Here's the replay. So, comes out of turn 1, all fine. Nicely through 2. And then goes into 3. Turns in. Touches the paint and then just hits the wall actually early into the corner, into turn 3. Clobbers that on the outside. And that was going. So he's caught. I wonder if it's a bit damp on the paint there. Or was it an oversteer issue? Maybe. He says, I'm so sorry, guys. When asked if he's okay, he says he's fine. Of course he's fine. It wasn't that big of an impact, but, you know, got to check. Yeah, slowish stop for Piastri. Then in comes Norris. What happens here at Norris's stop? Oh, the jack wouldn't go away. He tried to pull away before the jack was away, I think, and gave him a look as he went past. And that's Lewis Hamilton out the race. So whilst we are, was that a touch of oversteer and maybe a bit of wet paint, says Joe? Yeah, there's definitely oversteer there, but it's the fact that he was fine. The line was normal. Then he just touches the paint, and then that's the official analysis of it. He did that and then just straight into the wall. So that's a shame for Hamilton, who's having a goodish weekend up until that point. So I am just going to give MultiViewer another check over and just see if we get, while we're under the safety car, is all good front jack? Yeah, front jack is fine. So that's fine. Just to see if there's any official, a lot of people saying in the Discord that there are issues. So it's not just us, so that's okay. Yeah, but I'm not sure what's going on. So if you are just tuning in, the timing tower is wrong. We're about 10 laps behind. There's something wrong with MultiViewer. They have updated it today, which I think is probably the issue. Updates bring bugs, don't they? So I should have left it. That's on me, but I can't do any more than apologise. So I'm just going to close it all down. Not the stream, don't worry. Close down MultiViewer completely and give it a proper reboot, and we'll see if that makes any difference. I'm not holding out much hope, but yeah, I'll do my best. So I will keep going through it every 5 to 10 laps, let you know what's going on. I might go this way this time, see if this makes a difference, but I would imagine no, not at all. No difference at all. So sorry, guys. It's a shame. It all worked all right yesterday, so it's definitely something that's happened since yesterday. That'll be way off, but we'll resize. I'll get shouted at him anyway. Somebody in chat saying, stop apologising. It's not your fault. But, you know, the internet, you've got to say it 100 times for anyone that clicks. That'll do for now. But, yeah, we are still behind. So, soz is my official word on that one. I'd rather see live weather radar, says. Yeah, Navipass is clearly all your fault. It is. Yeah, 100% my fault. Definitely. We are under safety car. I did have a backup timing, but it's too late to set that up now. So I got complacent. It'll be in place for next weekend. I can tell you that for nothing. Just to make sure. I mean, I think we're a little bit further on than we were, so I think I've improved something. Not sure what it is, but try hit it with a hammer. I could do, yeah. John blames me for all of his problems. That's fine. Most people do, to be fair, John. Most people do. Safety car is ending, so that was quite a rapid. They've not. The driver tracker. Ignore the driver tracker, Sean. The field's not that bunched up, is it? If a safety car is ending, they've not. Have they waited for the whole field to catch us? Watching now, Leclerc, Lawson. Yeah, it's quite bunched up. We should be okay then. It just seemed a little bit all over the place. But yeah, Lewis Hamilton, if you are just tuning in, is out of the race. Order is Piastri, Norris, Verstappen, Hadjar, Russell, Leclerc, Lawson. Apparently watching picture in picture for some reason. Sainz, Ocon, Albon, Antonelli, Stroll, Behrman, Alonso, Tsunoda, Gasly, Colapinto, Bortoletto, and Hulkenberg. Hamilton out of the race after crashing all by himself at turn 3. Here's a question for chat. Here's a question. When was the last time Lewis Hamilton made an individual error like that in a race? It may be more recent than my head's thinking, but it's not, you know, say what you like, but he doesn't do them every weekend, does he? So Piastri backing him up here. Here we go. They're backing him up. The camera's just fallen off the helicopter there. It all went wrong. There goes Piastri. He's bolted nice and early, actually. Through the way, he needs to go quite early, doesn't he? But he's going to go nice toe here for Norris and Verstappen behind. Will Verstappen be able to challenge Lando Norris? George Russell will be desperate to get past Isaac Hadjar. We've got a Williams shaping up for a move, I think, on Liam Lawson. It's not at all. It is on Esteban Ocon, but the McLaren stay 1-2. George Russell having a look up the inside of Isaac Hadjar into turn 1, but Russell stays behind. Hadjar driving a brilliantly defensive race today, and just driving generally brilliantly all weekend, and actually a little bit close to Verstappen than Russell. And we've got a very slow Liam Lawson there. What's going on? There's been contact with Lawson and Williams. Contact with Lawson and Sainz here. I said somebody was shaping up there. Something has happened. That is a coming together for sure. We'll wait for replays on that one. But Max Verstappen all over the back of Lando Norris here on the medium tyre. Norris, of course, on the hard. So those mediums warming up a little bit quicker than the hard tyre. Everybody else, by the way, on hard tyres except for Max Verstappen. So they're all going to try and go to the end. You would assume Max, with nothing really to, well, might lose a podium, but championship-wise, nothing to lose. May as well go with a different strategy. Might get another safety car yet. See what happens with Lawson and Sainz, but I'm assuming a puncture for at least one of them, but they were slow through turn 3. Alonso pits. That's not Alonso pitting at all. That's an old thing on the thing. Ignore the timing tower, Sean. I'm going to get to the question in a second, but yeah. At the moment, that's a good restart for Piastri. DRS will be enabled now, but Norris is now within the DRS of his teammate. Drops at times is the official forecast for now, but it is easing off, so not enough for intermediates. But it gave us something. If Lewis did catch a damp patch, I'm sure we'll find out soon. DRS enabled, as I say. A lot of dirt on the racing line there. So I assume somebody's been off there. Is that the Sainz? And I wonder if Sainz and look, that's after turn 3. It can't be. I wondered if maybe that was what was going on there, but no. Stroll in the points. Good safety car timing. He pitted nice and early to Stroll. We called it a bit baffling, didn't we? But actually, it turns out to be the right call. Hadjar now dropping back off the back of Verstappen, by the way. I want to see this question. Question for longer viewers of F1. Is this on to be Red Bull Toro Rosso's best season? Lawson pits and Sainz pits as well. Vettel won in 2008, didn't he? And Gasly won in 2020. Soft tyres for Lawson, by the way. And a new front wing for Sainz. I'm going to take a punt here, having not seen it, and say that Sainz has clipped Lawson's rear left or right with his front wing, and that's caused a puncture. Let's have a look. So it's on the start-finish straight. And then that, it's not a late move by Lawson, but a defensive move. Then Lawson's going to run in wide, I'm assuming. And, yeah. Look. Sight's nowhere to go. Lawson gives him a bit of a shove, but to be honest, there is space there, isn't there? Lawson's taking the line, really. I 6 of one, half dozen the other there. Science is going to say differently. He's just so stupid. Oh my God, this guy. It's always the same guy. Is it always? I love that. It's always the same guy. When was the last time they came together? Never. To me, that's like Kevin said, that's a racing incident. It's clumsy. Lawson's going to come across to take that line. But Sainz was alongside, to be fair. I didn't quite see. I need to see another replay, see how far alongside he was. But yeah, that's where we're at. US Grand Prix 24 is what people are saying for Lewis Hamilton there, possibly. I'm trying to think what happened there. Oscar Piastri 2.1 seconds clear now of Lando Norris. I'm just trying to think what happened at. Not sure. What happened in... I was having a moment, so I was just trying to think of two things at once there. What happened at US 2024? Let me know. But yeah, that's Carlos should have backed out, says Kevin. Yeah, but it's just a nothing thing, is it really, to me? Would love to see Padjar up on the podium. That'd be great. George was having a little look there at Hadjar into wherever they are. I've lost where they are on track, but yeah, no, that was a cheeky move if you got that done. You've got to try something. That was turn 8, was it? Got to try something different if you're not getting through in a straight line. Is this racing balls a bit slippery in a straight line? Maybe. There are more rain clouds around, by the way, quite a few. So Russ said moving under braking because the prefect needs to let the headmaster know what's going on there. Poor George. Antonelli is in the points as well. Good time on the safety car for him by the look of it. Stroll is P9 by the way now, so that's he's doing all right there, isn't he? Refresh did nothing, by the way. Antonelli really challenging Albon here for P7, so there's a good scrap going on that we're watching picture in picture whilst nothing happens elsewhere. I'd rather be watching the Antonelli Albon scrap, to be honest, because Russell has dropped back on hard job. We'll see a replay of the hard job one. I didn't scream moving under brake and we caught the end of it there, but I didn't see the whole move, so we'll see. Carlos Sainz here. What's happened to Sainz now with the Racing Bulls? Did he hit the back of Lawson there? A bit of bodywork has flown off the Williams. It must have been from his contact earlier. Might have been something from whatever the equivalent to a barge board is these days. Virtual safety car hath but been deployed for reasons. We'll put the yellow flag out. Why not? I'm assuming debris. It is indeed. It's windy out there, by the way. So that's moving that around. So yeah, we have got a virtual safety car. So if anybody needs to pit, now's a good time to do it. But I think most people should be good. Anyone tuning in and seeing me checking my phone, don't worry, I'm not messaging people. I am just checking to see if there's any update on the MultiViewer stuff that we're having issues with, but they don't seem to be at the moment, so that's a shame. We have got a virtual safety car for debris, so nobody's had another shunt or anything like that, so that's good news. But yeah, still a little bit annoying. MultiViewer. I can't be the only one in the world that does that. Yeah, a lot of people have had a bit of a, not a whinge, but it's not just us. As long as it's not just us, I know there's nothing I can do about it. I'm more comfortable. Virtual safety car is ending, by the way, so here we go. We'll get ready to turn the yellow flag off. We are green, and we go again. Yeah, you're now going to see the Lewis Hamilton crash on the driver tracker. Here goes Charles Leclerc. Has got a really nice run on the restart. George Russell has a look around the outside of the chicane. They're going to touch. They're going to have lots of contacts, and that's going to be messy. But Leclerc's through. George ain't going to have that. He is not going to be happy on the radio. Leclerc around the outside of turn 11, stayed to the inside for 12, and just sort of said, "Look, I'm coming through, mate." A bit of argy-bargy. And it goes very defensive, very late there, Leclerc. As George Russell comes back at turn 1, they nearly came together in Hungary. They look like they want a big accident today. So, there you go. Why not? George is coming back at him into turn 2. He's not going to get through there. Steady on George and Charles. We don't want another one. This is these two giving us something to get excited about here. But that was all very, very scruffy. I'm just waiting for George Russell's 10-second time penalty for Carlos Sainz for causing a collision. Sorry for the dead air. I don't agree with that at all. Anyway, so I wouldn't get a penalty to either of them. But anyway, it's a good job I'm not a race steward, isn't it? I'd just be like, yeah, do what you like. Get on with it. Here we go then. So Leclerc did get on the inside of 10. And then George managed to hold him off. So Leclerc tucks in, gets the DRS. So does George. Throws it into where really barely a gap there. Threw it in. And then, I tell you, he's going to say turned in. Doesn't leave space. He cannot complain, says Leclerc. And George says, which I'm guessing is the radio we're going to get next. We'll get a replay from George's perspective. And he's going to say, oh, blimey. George, when you're ready, mate, I'll wait for your radio. We know it's coming. I mean, he was fully off the track, surely, question mark. So actually, George, not mad about the shoving out of the way. It's that rear wheel I need to see, but I would say he's still. So Crofty's saying he didn't overtake him off the track when he off the track. It was the move. It was the prior bit as we watch Antonelli pass Alex Albon there, but it was the bit prior where he effectively cuts a bit of the corner. He looked off, but I haven't seen the rear wheel, so I don't know for sure. But that's get on with it. Sainz 10-second time penalty for that incident with Lawson. I think that's really harsh. That's really harsh on Sainz. if they were going to give a penalty, and if someone comes in and says he wasn't far enough alongside, then fair enough, I might not have seen that. But if Lawson had got one, I'd be like, that's harsh, but I can see why. But I'm trying to work out why Sainz... I don't know. So has Leclerc been told to return the position? They're talking about on Sky now that they've got yellow flags out there, by the way. I don't know what for because the driver tracker isn't working. So I assume it might be a bit of debris where they've come together at turn 11. Or somebody's in a wall somewhere. But no, I think that was a racing incident between Sainz and Lawson. And this one with Leclerc, I need to see a different angle to see if his rear is definitely all over the white line. But, you know. The rule is you need to be alongside the apex. Where do they consider the apex in turn 1 as if it's the middle? He was alongside. I don't know, because this is the problem. I mean, what is the apex of a corner? We can all take a punt, but the FIA maybe need to... I mean, they might do. They might have a chart up on their wall that says this is the apex, this is the apex, just for avoidance of doubt. But they need to sort of define that every weekend, because... I mean, maybe I'm making a really stupid comment. It probably is stupid, but the apex also... Could it be different depending on your line in there? I mean, I don't know. I suppose the apex of a corner is the apex of a corner, but there'll be opportunities. Our best bet is to just try and get him straight out race, is what Norris is being told regarding Piastri. Again, if you are just tuning in, the driver tracker and the timing tower is wrong. I'm just leaving them up in the hope they come back. We are a long way clear of this. We are 11 laps up the road from the driver trackers. We're on lap 36 of 72. Are we going to watch this again? No. So they are going to investigate Russell and Leclerc for causing a collision, not overtaking off track. So there is damage to the Mercedes. There's debris there being thrown up, so that could be why we got the yellow flag. But the running order is officially... I'll wait for the timing tower to come back because I need the timing tower. I can't rely on the MultiViewer because it's wrong. But Piastri is leading from Lando Norris. We know that for sure. The gap between them 1.7 seconds. Max Verstappen in third, 2.2 further back with Hadjar only 7/10 behind Max Verstappen and challenging. Charles Leclerc is fifth, under investigation for that move or that collision with George Russell, depending on what the stewards decide there. They'll probably blame Sainz for that one as well. George Russell is in sixth. He's also under investigation, of course. Antonelli now 1.4 behind his teammate in seventh. Alex Albon is in eighth place, 2.2, looking good. He'll be very happy with that if he gets those points sorted, won't he? Because really frustrated after qualifying. Lance Stroll is ninth, 6 seconds back, with Esteban Ocon currently taking a final point in 10th, but Behrman is just 6/10 behind. Tsunoda basically 8/10 off Behrman in 12th, with Alonso in 13th, and Gasly in 14th, and Colapinto 15th. 16th for Bortoletto, 17th for Hulkenberg. Sainz is 18th, Lawson is 19th, and Lewis Hamilton, of course, having crashed at turn 3, causing that safety car, which Antonelli, Stroll, Ocon, and Behrman will be very, very happy about. He is out, of course, so that is why he's not on the timing tower anymore. So there we go. Yeah, good point from Tommy, guys. There's a lot of bits of carbon fibre on the track. Anything can happen now. Good shout. Red Bull asked Max to swap places. It's up to a second now, but Hadjar driving. I said yesterday, clearly wrongly, he would be the cork in the bottle. And I think he has been a little bit to a point, hasn't he, today? There was a point in this race where he was a bit of a cork because, you know, Russell couldn't get through, Leclerc couldn't get through. So... sort of right, but actually he's defended well, he's had good pace, and he's driving superbly well as well. I mean, he's half a second clear, 8/10 behind Max Verstappen, a second behind Max Verstappen, and just up the road from Charles Leclerc. So he's driving really well. His tyres are slightly newer as well than Leclerc's, only a couple of laps, but every little helps in that. So yeah, please do drop a like, by the way, on the stream. I know the timing's off, and I know that's a reason to hate me and wish me dead and all that, but please do drop a like. We're 25 away from 100. It'd be great to get to 100. Show support and help my OCD mind cope with the fact that this is not working today, and I'm getting really frustrated by it, even though there's no reason to get frustrated because I can't control it. So please do drop a like and subscribe as well. Lots to come, hopefully, with MultiViewer working next weekend. We've got the Monza weekend, of course, one of my favourites of the season, naturally. And, of course, then we've got Baku and Singapore not too far down the road, triple headers and double headers, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So lots to come between now and Abu Dhabi, and a title to decide as well, which makes it all that more exciting. So likes and subs, really appreciate it. I'll come to you in chat while things are settling down. John says, can't hear you. I'm on phone. Just dropping in to say it's nice that the FIA have let Stevie Wonder be a steward this weekend. Hey, mate, hope you're well. That's Tsunoda having a go at Behrman there, but Behrman's going to defend and covers that nicely. Tsunoda's going to get a run here, though. On the run to turn 3, he might think better of that. He does indeed. Nix has never thought Max would drive the DRS bendy bus. Max, it's James Hadjar is faster than you, says Joe. John says that's Asda price. 7 String says, not your fault, just enjoy the race and give us a great watch on. Thank you, mate. I appreciate that. Not everyone will see it that way, but I do appreciate the support there. And yeah, I'll keep an eye on the race and we'll do our best. And hey, I might look back in 10 laps time and it has all come back and it's all fine, but I'll work on it for next week and hopefully everything is okay. I will refresh the stream as well because chat's a little bit delayed for me because that's just the day I'm having. Everything's delayed. Might have a late tea now or dinner if you're not from north. I don't know if you are from the north or the north of England, I should say, not it's the north of somewhere. Racing incident for me, says Nick. Kevin saying Stroll 9th. Max the only driver on mediums. He is indeed maybe not working as well as the hopes. I mean, you'd expect Verstappen on any sort of type of tire to be 1.5 clear of Hadjar, wouldn't you? But no, not happening at the moment. I'm not sure. No, it hasn't. That's fine. But yeah, I never gave my podium prediction in order. Lewis Hamilton, Dick Dassley and Thomas Enger on the good stuff. That says Boom Spoon. Max drive me. I read that one. Yeah, 10-second penalty for the multi-viewer issues. Fair enough. That's fair. John says that's Asda price. I'm not sure what's what I've missed there. How the hell is that Sainz's fault? Says Kieran. Agree. Leclerc Russell investigation. 10 seconds penalty for Sainz causing a collision. Jamie says Lawson makes a hard move to the right all of a sudden, which caused the collision. Racing incidents on left. Sorry, says Jamie. Yeah, he's coming across tech his line, isn't he? Which I appreciate is. Oh yeah, every little helps as Tesco, is it? Yeah, and then Asda price. Yeah, I'm with you now. Yeah, more reasons to shop at Morrison's. There you go. Any more? This isn't just F1. This is M&S F1. We need to cover all the supermarkets, otherwise we'll get done. Yeah, you know, can't show favouritism. Where is this rain? The radar was promising. Rust on the radio. Just some advice there from his engineer. Driving the car alone unaided there. Yeah, the rain. So the rain situation still says 60%, so it is still due. We haven't seen it yet, though. We've had a few drops, but no rain expected according to the radar. So I think we've had our dramatic moment. Frustrating. It is starting to get closer to the front now. Piastri being caught by Norris, 1.1 seconds. Verstappen sat there rubbing his hands together. Hey, look, Verstappen had your Leclerc podium. Antonelli's gone past Russell here, so I'm assuming that was a swap positions moment. Maybe. But this could be about to get interesting. So Antonelli been giving a run, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, what tyre life for George's tyres? Well, nothing in it, is there? As Antonelli just passed Russell. So Russell, bit surprised there. Antonelli on the pace, isn't he? Really on the pace. So what do McLaren do? I mean, they can't employ team-oils. We know that's not going to happen. But George is bitching about changing cars. Shocker, he sounded so surprised when it came on the radio. Yeah. My kettle just died, says Sighted Canvas. This is a disaster. Wow. I don't know what I'd do if my kettle broke. Cry and bury it in the garden with a full funeral service, I think. And then order a new one. Yeah. That sucks. The second one side on the Leclerc is clear. It was less obvious than the Sainz one, says Fudd. John Joe says rip. Rip to the kettle. F's in chat and all that. Nearly 40 and I still said F's in chat. Why not? I'm really surprised by that Sainz penalty. I'll not... I mean, look, bearing in mind if you're watching this later, I'm doing this as the race is going on. I've not got all the angles, so I might look at an angle after the race and go, actually, yeah, I see why. But based on what we saw, I'm not 100% sure that was the right call. So there you go. Virtual safety car has not been deployed. MultiViewer, we're getting there, though. It might catch up. It'll catch up on lap 71 or 72, and I'll just sit and cry. What a calamity, says Boom Spoon. Very good. You can have that one. I'll let you have that. On the subject, though, of tea, I'm going to have a quick slug of my drink, so I will go quiet for a second then when you're watching me dribbling that down my front. But yes, I'll be back in 15 seconds for you. Won't be long. Apparently, the Leclerc one, Nick and Fudder saying, is being investigated after the race. So I missed that flash up on the screen there. So I must actually have just thought about George. It's damage, isn't it? So he's going to be losing points of his aero. So that's why his pace isn't going to be as strong as Antonelli's. That's that one. 14 seconds. Is that a personal best? Pit stop of the season. Yeah. I guess pull the drivers in, talk about it, see what happens from there. But I'm a little bit... I mean, there's still... I mean, the yellow flag infringement now for Lewis Hamilton. We might wait to see if there's a document up on that later. But that's now irrelevant, isn't it? Because he's out of the race. So it doesn't really matter anymore. I don't really enjoy knowing stuff will be able to get after the race. It makes the race feel a bit more meaningless, knowing the result may change. When something's obvious, I agree. It's ridiculous. If, you know, something that we're watching it and we go, well, that's a penalty all day long, and it's just obvious that it's a penalty, and then it ends up being a penalty. That annoys me. When it's something like that, I think talking to the drivers afterwards makes sense. My concern with that, though, is where I will agree with Boom Spoon, is that if that's Leclerc versus Russell for the win, and then we're waiting for 4 hours afterwards for the result, that gets frustrating. Not so fussed about 5th and 7th, but yeah, it's there are enough people in that steward's room, but sometimes they need to talk to the drivers, don't they, and sort it out. So Russell, let him go, Nick. I think Russell's got damage, and I think that's what the problem is here. Norris is closing in 1.3 to Piastri, or it's staying on around 1.1 to 1.3. So we're on lap 45 of 72. Get the headmaster to have a chat with the lads. There you go. Do we think it's 0 stops the end without safety car? I think for Piastri, Norris, anyone on hards, I think, yeah. Anyone on hards who pitted under the safety car, I think they will go to the end on those now. Max on the mediums. Well, that was a safety car. It's just happened on the timing. So 26 was a safety car. So we're nearly 20 laps on the mediums. What were Pirelli saying pre-race for the mediums? Let's have a look. So 28 to 34 for the mediums if you ran them from the start. So he's already on 20 laps. He's got another 32 to do. Not going to be easy for Max. Is on the mediums. Maybe he's banking on a safety car, a little bit of rain, perhaps, is what he's thinking there. So, yeah. Yeah. and yeah, nothing else to add to that one. Only F1 does an incident gets reviewed after. Imagine it happening in football. Yeah. Wow. You say that. You say that. Do you remember, was it Man United Brighton a few years ago in the Premier League, where the full-time whistle went, they all went down the tunnel, and then they had to come back out again, so Man United could take a penalty because VAR made the decision post-match, didn't they? Because it happened in the game, and they decided it was a penalty right at the end. So not quite the same thing, and it wasn't quite the 4-hour delay that we'll inevitably have tonight, but that did happen once. I imagine it will never happen again because it caused quite a stir. The idea of something like that happening after the full-time whistle, but there we go. What are the battles out there then? Let's I'll say it one more time. Timing's broken. Nothing to do about it. I apologise to anyone just tuning in. We are on lap 46, not lap 34. So if it catches up, great. If it doesn't, I'll sort it for next week. I'm sure they will as well. There'll be a patch, I'm sure. But let's focus on the racing now. Just enjoy these last however many laps there are. I can't bother to count. Million laps left. Let's see where the battles are. So Behrman is right behind Ocon. That's what we're watching on TV at the moment. That's the battle for the final points paying position. Tsunoda is second behind, and it's Gasly right behind that. Sainz. Sainz told he gets a penalty, and he goes, who gets a penalty? Me. That was our reaction live, wasn't it? Like, what? He says, most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, I think I agree. I agree with Carlos Sainz there. Laughable decision, but anyway, they can't. I don't think you can review in race penalties, can you? So that's kind of the end of that. But it was quite funny, that reaction there from Sainz. But yeah, that's the battle we're watching at the moment on board with Fernando Alonso. He's at the back of this. It's sort of a train, isn't it? Really, Ocon, Behrman, Tsunoda, Gasly, Colapinto, Bortoleto, Hulkenberg, Alonso. Sainz a long way off there. They did say they'll serve it at pit stop, so I assume I'll just get the penalty out of the way. I said I won't mention it, but actually I'm just watching the driver tracker there. I think it is trying to catch up because it keeps speeding through some corners every now and again, so it's trying to fix itself, so that's good. Wow, Yuki can't pass a Haas, question mark, says Kevin. And as Nina says, to be fair, it's quite difficult to overtake around here, but as we've seen, you know, Sainz and Lawson ended in contact. Max Verstappen somehow kept it out of the wall at turn 3. I thought he was a goner there. I thought that was game over on that first lap, and then you've got the contact between Russell and Leclerc, and then Bortoleto and Stroll as well, so it is tough to overtake. I mean, you know that, Kevin. I know you've been tongue-in-cheek, partially tongue-in-cheek. Your tongue is moving towards the cheek. Doesn't sound quite right, does it? But Tsunoda is struggling to get through. He's in a DRS train technically as well. They are going to look after the race at the Leclerc-Russell one. They may change their mind on that yet. But Ocon actually yet to pit, according to the official timing there. So that's interesting, isn't it? That he's not pitted yet. Interesting. I've just had a thought, actually, that might make my life a little bit easier. I've just said official timing, and then a light bulb moment cropped up in my stupid little head. I could just have the live timing open for me, couldn't I? So at least give you the gaps a little bit more easily. How many laps has that taken me to realise? Oh, dear. It might help a little bit. It might not, but we'll see. I've already signed in F1. I've signed in 3 times today. I'm sorry. I feel really dumb now. That's something that should really have twigged to me a long time ago. I can't show you the F1 live timing for, again, obvious copyright reasons, but I could have had it open so I could at least give you the gaps between the drivers more easily. So, sorry, I'm being blonde even though I'm not blonde. If you're blonde, I'm not calling you stupid. I don't mean it. So yeah, that's Christ's sake, Sean. Piastri, Norris, Verstappen, Hadjar. There we go. That's your top 4. I've got the ties. Lewis Hamilton talking to Sky. He just says he went on the bank, rear snapped out, and he just couldn't recover. So that's what's happened there. So yeah. So gap at the front, 1.4 seconds. I feel happy now I've got some timing. Look at that, 1.4 seconds. Verstappen 9.9 back. If anything happens at the front, he's right in there for the win. Hadjar's in there for a podium as well. So no offense to McLaren fans. They want to run into each other. I'd be quite happy with that right now. Verstappen win and Hadjar second. And then Hadjar promoted for Monza probably, because you know what Helmut Marko's like. Has to have a box. So Behrman has pitted. No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. Ocon and Behrman yet to stop. Make sure we go visit the stewards after the race. I want to have a talk with them, says Sights. Ooh, I want a word with you. See me. He wants to mark your homework. He's not happy as Sights, and I completely agree. Absolutely baffling decision that for the stewards, but if I had a pound. Here goes Alonso on Nico Hulkenberg on the runs to 11. Doesn't fancy a Leclerc around the outside there, so he'll sit in, I imagine, and have a run. This is the problem with the DRS trains, isn't it? You've got to try something different. Otherwise, you just end up stuck behind the car in front and can't get anywhere. So DRS just cancels each other out, which is just a shame. Such a shame. I mean, I'm dreading next year, but actually, these modes that we've got, might make things a bit more interesting rather than having DRS. I mean, a push to pass, for example, effectively, much more interesting to me. Then there goes Alonso having a look at Hulkenberg in turn 3. He's gone for the low line, not going to get through there. But yeah, the idea of a push to pass, much more interesting to me than DRS because you can use it more strategically. I like seeing drivers using that sort of thing to defend, and then you could use it as an option rather than just, here's your wing, breeze past the car in front on the long straight in Bahrain, like yawn. You know, it's not overtaking, is it, for me? So I'd rather see it a push to pass, but then I'm a grumpy old man, so there you go. That's where we're at. Yeah, exactly, Alfie. The stewards have been summoned to Sainz. Sainz has summoned the stewards. By the way, the top fans countdown, just when I got a second. Alfie tops at the minute on 425. Then Kevin and Michael are behind in second and third on 150 each. So, just saying. There goes Alonso round the outside of turn 11. Sorry, that's how you do it. And moves himself up into P17, which I have to say, maybe he's been shafted a bit by the safety car. Maybe. But, and the early stop as well, as Crew Chad not suggesting there, but not where I was expecting Alonso to be this weekend based on how things were going for him. So, yeah. McLaren is on pace strategy yet again, says Tommy. You need to make one more stop though, Alfie, is what Fudd is saying. And McLaren checked out already, just holding formation till the end, says Sighty Gavin. I think if Norris gets a sniff, he's going for it, isn't he? But they're definitely very, I think, evenly matched. And then that lap, Norris was 3/10 quicker, but the gap isn't coming down, is it? It's sort of lingering around that sort of 1.2 to 1.4 region as Kimi Antonelli does pit in the Mercedes. He's on the hard tyre at the moment. Has he got a gap back to anybody that he's trying to slot into here? Maybe after Stroll. Or before Stroll, actually. Soft tyre. So 20 laps on the softs then. For Antonelli, he needs to get ahead of... there goes Lawson and Sainz. They are a lap down, so they don't count in this situation. He's going to be ahead of Stroll. So he's got a lovely bit of clear air here, Antonelli, if he clears this traffic, which he will do quite easily. He's got a lovely bit of clear air up to Alex Albon here, and I wonder if they're just going to try and pressure Ferrari and Racing Bulls into making a stop, but that's a lot of time to gain in 20 laps, isn't it? So let's see how good the soft tyre is. Classic Alonso, says Nick. Nice move that, actually, on Hulkenberg. Rain's still not expected, by the way, as well. 60% at the moment still there. Nothing expected between now and the end of the race. We've got a good, 20 laps to go, like I say, 19 laps. So don't expect too much to happen in that regard at the moment. They are going to respond immediately with Charles Leclerc, so that's exactly what they've tried to do there, Mercedes, and that makes a lot of sense, I guess. Give it a go. You never know, do you? Got to be worth a punt. Leclerc is a used set of softs, by the way. Anthony, 20. He's done a purple final set, so 22 flat. This is not as close as I thought it was going to be, but his tyres are up to temperature here. Oh, did Leclerc? Oh, it is closer. That always deceives me, that at pit exit in Zandvoort. That was a bit closer than I thought it was going to be. Will Anthony have a go into he does have a go to turn 3 up the inside. That's contact. That's a crash. That's both Ferraris out the race. That's a penalty for Kimi Antonelli all day long, and that will be a safety car. That was my analysis. I can tell you right now, that is a penalty for Kimi Antonelli. So 10-second penalty for Sainz, please. Kimi just way too excitable in that situation. Desperate to get it done on the warmer tyres. That was clumsy. That was stupid. That's a penalty all day long. In come the McLarens. 100% penalty for Sainz. Yeah, exactly. So Piastri, he's going to pit for a fresh set of hard tyres. It's a slow stop for Piastri. Rear left for him. What about Norris? He's slow on the rear left as well. In fact, the rear left didn't go off at all. Did they do that rear left? That mechanic was so quick, I'm not even convinced that they did up the rear left. But of course, under a safety car, again, doesn't matter. This might. Doesn't matter because they'll all bunch up again. But it is soft tyres for Hadjar. It's soft tyres for Verstappen. It's hard tyres for the two McLarens. Oh, and a pit stop for Haas as well. Great shout, actually, Killjoy. Forgot about Haas. They haven't pitted yet. That's a... Oh, Ocon did just pit, apparently, didn't he? So that's a free stop for Behrman. Had Ocon just pitted? Karun Chadlock says we need to see a replay. We don't need to see a replay, Karun, at all. Kimi Antonelli threw it up the inside. His car's on fire underneath. Threw it up the inside of 3. Desperate to get through on the warmer tyres. Understeer straight into Leclerc and bang. We don't need to see a replay at all. I called that live. Here we go. Unless, I mean, look, something may now happen. Let's have a look. Comes through 2, much quicker. Decides to go to the inside of 3. Understeers completely wide and whack. Leclerc's done nothing wrong. He's on the line. 100% Antonelli. Penalty all day long. I don't understand why. I get commentators have got to be careful. Official commentary have got to be careful. But why he thought we needed to see a replay for that, I don't know. That was 100% on Antonelli. And by the way, that's both Ferraris out the same corner, by the way. Yeah. Just understand. Yeah. Boom. Oh, well, as a Ferrari fan, and I'm thrilled at that. Yeah, what a weekend. Frustrating again because pace wasn't bad at all. That was just so lack of experience. And I'll tell you something as well. Antonelli needed a good result today, and he was on for a good result. And I think, look, he's a racer. He wants to go racing, but in those situations, given the run of races he's had, not score. I think he's scored 2 points since Canada at his podium, something like that. And I just think, do you just tuck in and bank the points and the result and build from there? Home Grand Prix next weekend and all that. Don't forget, not officially confirmed for next year yet. I don't imagine that will make too much of a difference in his contract chats because these things happen. But it just annoys. Sometimes you need to see a replay. The Sainz and Lawson one was a good example of needing to see a replay. But yeah, I need to see a replay first. You don't, Karun. Come on. Stop sitting on the fence, mate. Alonso got shafted by a safety car twice, says Harati. Hey, mate, hope you're well. Yeah. Twice. Classic Alonso. He is 9th, though. So, I mean, he got screwed by it, but he is 9th, but he's done 14 laps on those tyres. So, it might turn around for him yet. Just as disastrous as my kettle, says that side car. We are under yellow flags, by the way, or safety car, actually, aren't we? Alonso didn't pit, no. So, he's okay at the minute, but 14 laps on the tyres. We're going to get a few under the safety car. Not a huge number, but a few. That's going to put him... he should be fine on them to the end. That's what I'm trying to do the maths on there. He should be fine on those hards, but he might be a bit slippery. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if he should be okay at the end. He might just become a bit vulnerable to the quicker cars on fresher tyres behind. But I imagine he'll be okay. Yeah. Crofty making a point, actually, to be fair, that session. What does that mean? Session has been manually synced by MultiViewer. Is that something I could change? Sorry, look, it's a safety car, so I've got an opportunity to have a look at this again and see if I can fix it. But let's see what I can do actually here. No, still not updated. There's nothing I can do there on that front either. That's annoying. If anyone has any good knowledge of MultiViewer and knows a way of I can play around with it to get to work other than just rolling back an update, that'd be appreciated. But yeah, not a lot I could do, I'm afraid. I had a go. I had another go. I've refreshed it. I've rebooted it. See how we go. You never know. So if you are just tuning in, that track map and driver tracker and everything is completely wrong. So ignore it and listen to my beautiful, beautiful voice. The beautiful, beautiful cause. Just check again, see if there's any advice. Yeah, safety car is out. If you are, again, just tuning in, it's a collision between... It was Antonelli creamed straight into the side of Charles Leclerc. So, there you go. And we have to wait for Lawson and Sainz to lap themselves, by the way. Yeah. Vote for driver of the day. Looking like it might be Isaac Hadjar getting that one. Why not? So, yeah. 10 seconds for Antonelli. Is that official? FUD, has that come in yet? Lap cars may now overtake, so there we go. That's that sorted. But, I hate this. I get why they have to do it. I just really despise having to wait for lap cars to overtake. They're out of the race, drop to the back. I get it, transponders, data, all of that, but, you know. Antonelli has been noted for speeding in the pit lane. Generally speaking, if you're new to F1, welcome. But generally speaking, if you get noted for speeding in the pit lane, you've triggered something, which means you've sped in the pit lane. So that'll be a penalty as well. So that's going to be a 6-hour penalty for Antonelli. He's still P7, by the way, Antonelli, despite that. So I think we might be looking here at no points for Antonelli. Safety car is ending in at the end of the lap. Yeah, because obviously, just don't forget that the field's now bunched up. So the idea that he can just... Yeah, anyway. Alistair Crofty, you say something interesting. Rare or no. So Behrman and Ocon did wait for the safety car, but Behrman's been on his tyres for... So Ocon and Behrman must have pitted on the safety car then. So why... Right, chap. Again, it's because I've not got all the data in front of me that I usually have. So just... Ocon... Did he pit just before the safety car? Because surely if Ocon and Behrman pitted on the safety car, Ocon would still be ahead because he would have pitted first. They'd have double stacked. So Albon, by the way, was the 6th place I've just noticed. Out of nowhere in my head there. Yeah, I'm just trying to, as they back him up, I'm just trying to think. He must have pitted the lap before the safety car. Because they'd have double stacked and he was ahead of Behrman. But here we go. Safety car is ending. Gasly and Bortoleto didn't pit. Thank you, Kevin. There goes Piastri. He pit before, says Michael. Thank you, Michael. Piastri restarts. Don't forget, Max Verstappen, Isaac Hadjar, George Russell, Alex Albon and Kimi Antonelli all on soft tyres. And Max Verstappen is having a run here out the final corner. I'm trying to get too excited at Lando Norris. This is going to be a challenge to turn one. Is he going to have a look? He doesn't know. Thinks better of it. Hadjar has got a fight behind him with George Russell and Alex Albon. Max Verstappen's got a great exit from the first corner and is all over the back of Lando Norris. He's going to send it. He needs to send it, but don't do an Antonelli, Max. Certainly stay with him, but the soft tyres warming up very nicely indeed at the moment. Piastri already 1.4 clear of Lando Norris, so he is pulling away. He has broken that DRS, but yeah, Max Verstappen giving Norris something to think about, but now starting to fall back. So maybe that challenge falling away because that McLaren, as we know, is absolutely bloody rapid. It was about 1.3, wasn't it, the gap at the front before the pit stops, before the safety car, and it's starting to... Sorry, 1 second. I'll watch this first. Watch the restart first. Will Max be able to challenge here? 1.9 back. Gasly passes Fernando Alonso into the chicane and moves into 8th place. Pierre Gasly, again, I said it yesterday, driving so well in that Alpine this year. A car which is pretty bad, let's be honest. And he's getting everything he can out of it. So great drive again. Max Verstappen's fallen too far back now, and Norris is now behind Piastri by enough that DRS won't matter. He's outside that DRS range. 1.1 seconds of fastest lap for Piastri on that first lap after the safety car. These hard tyres will go all the way to the end. And all the way to the end of the Italian Grand Prix, probably, let's be honest, from here. So no need to pit. Behrman all over Alonso. So this is the problem for Fernando, you see. The older tyres, they're not that old. They've only done 17 laps. But compared to all these fresh tyres, he's struggling a little bit as Behrman has passed Bortoleto. I was just going to say, just my luck. I'm not sure this is a multi-viewer issue because the official live timing that I've got open is a lap behind. So I wonder if there's an issue with the actual live timing itself a little bit today. A lot of you are going to say mine's fine now, but I thought I'd mentioned it now, but there you go. There you go. I've mentioned it anyway. Maybe a refresh will save that. If not, I'm just going to sit and watch the TV and we'll watch it. Should we watch a film after this? What are we watching after this? Bit of jaws. There goes Tsunoda having a go at the Sauber. He came across towards him there just to give him a little bit of a I'm coming through. As Tsunoda moves up into P12 past Bortoletto. No, but the official was caught up now, so it wasn't. I did wonder there. Norris is within DRS here of Piastri, half a second the gap. So Norris really coming back. My MultiViewer is fine today, though. I'm wondering if I've got an issue there. So I'll have a look at it before Monza. I apologise again, but nothing I can do. Unfortunately, we've got the two Ferraris sat there on the in the runoff area, in behind the barrier. Two ruined cars. Sad times. 12 laps to go. We've got a fight on here between the two McLarens, which is going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun here. So I'm probably going to find a way to fix this now, aren't I? It is the sort of thing I would do. At 1.2 still the gap. So Piastri has built that gap back out again then. So I wonder if he'd made a mistake somewhere for that gap to come down so quickly. Scientific Canvas on lap 51, races lap 60. So there are issues somewhere, aren't there? So some are struggling, some are not. I'm assuming it's to do with updates and things, but it's okay. We're here. We're just here to chill. I'm not a professional. I've never claimed to be, you know that by now. Yeah, but I've got some experimental settings I could play with, but let's not. Let's watch the race. Why not? We'll treat ourselves to a Grand Prix. It's been a while. We've not been racing for a month. I will leave the driver tracker on for those who may need it, though, because the people that watch later could sync up, can't they? So it's not so bad for them. Live, it's a nightmare, but yeah. 61 of 72 we're on. So Piastri leads by 1.3 seconds from Lando, Norris with Max Verstappen in third, 2.9 back. Hadjar still only a second off Verstappen. What a drive from him, by the way. He's my driver of the day already. George Russell is somehow fifth place. That safety car helping him there and the two crashes, obviously. Albon in sixth, but 4 tenths further back. We theorised that Russell is carrying damage. So watching Colapinto here send one up the inside of a Haas into turn 10, and that is... I tell you, a little bit of wheel banging, but that was a nice attempt. Why not? Nothing wrong with a bit of banging. Wheel banging, I should stress. But yeah, goes down the outside as he defends from a Sauber there. Where did we get to? Albon 6th, and then Antonelli in 7th. Russell's definitely got damage here because Albon's all over the back of him now. Antonelli 7th, Gasly 8th, Behrman 9th, and Alonso in 10th. Stroll is 11th. 12th for Tsunoda, 13th Ocon, 14th Colapinto, 15th Hulkenberg, 16th Lawson, 17th Sainz, 18th Bortoletto. Kimi Antonelli a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And I suspect that's going to be followed by a 10-second time penalty. So that's going to be 15 seconds for Antonelli, which means unless he gets his foot down, he's going to be well out of the points. There you go. That's my official one. So... it'll fix it it'll fix it across the line. And such wins, and now it's caught up. There you go. So my ride is now completely screwed, says Max, who's engineer, so not happy there. But I mean, look, P3 for Max. Yeah. Oh, if it stays like this, I get 2 points on predictions. Sorry. Just realised 2 whole points. Christ. I said 17 finishes as well, so we need one more retirement that isn't Piastri or Norris, and I'll get 3 points. Yeah, Gasly will drop off quite a bit, won't he? Because his tyres are on lap 38 now, so I mean, worth a punt from Alpine. Try for another safety car, maybe. He is going to be the cork in the bottle, though, isn't he? In fact, looking at the timings now, that's exactly what he is. He's got Behrman having to go into turn 1, picture in picture. We're watching the McLarens not battling and missing an overtake in the main feed, but we've got a picture in picture. So through goes Behrman into turn 1 to take P8. He's driving well today. Perfectly timed safety car as well for Ollie Behrman. Ocon will be kicking himself, but Ocon's pace isn't too bad. He's still 13th and not a million miles away from a point, so it might still come good for Esteban. Antonelli, his problem for Antonelli now is Behrman, isn't it? He's going to be quick, so... Or you'd expect. So P7 for Behrman, if we apply the penalty now, I think Gasly's going to drop like a stone, isn't he? Usually, when you've got a gaggle of cars behind you, usually one will get through and then they'll all start following. Was it Last year, Zandvoort, we had that 6 cars down the straight trying to overtake each other. Clanton says, I don't have Sky, so relying on your commentary. Oh, that's going to be awkward. Sorry, but I'll do my best for you, mate. I'll do my best. I'm like everybody else, I've just got the TV today because of the MultiViewer problems. Try not to choke. Stroll passes Gasly. Here we go for P9. So Stroll is in the points from the pit lane. I know, an early stop has worked, so we were wrong to criticise that, weren't we? It just felt a bit silly at the time because the rain was starting to come down. It didn't rain hard enough. And then a couple of safety cars probably helping along the way there for Stroll, but 9th place is pretty solid. And Piastri told, possibly very few light drops in 3 laps' time. It'll be less than at the start of the race. So even if the rain does come in 3 laps' time, it's not going to do much. But it might chuck it down. Who knows? How did Behrman get there? He was P11 without boxing. He actually gained place in the pits. I don't know. I can't remember who pitted and who didn't under the safety car now. Probably have a look through the 10, 11 laps ago. So, yeah. Not sure. I mean, Hadjar's going to get driver of the day. We know that. So, that's that one sorted. Gasly hasn't been passed by Alonso, who's having a go for that final point. So, there's potential here for double points for Aston Martin, and somehow Lance Stroll is ahead of Fernando Alonso. So there we go. Norris will be told the same, I imagine. Got smoke coming from the cockpit. I think I smell something funny, says Norris. There is. Yes, there is. Oh, it's gone bang. His engine's gone. Lando Norris is in trouble here. His engine's gone pop, and Lando Norris is out of the Dutch Grand Prix. That, I'm going to give you the reaction I would always give in these situations when watching Formula 1 on my own. That is fucking massive for the championship and massive for Isaac Hadjar. Lando Norris is out of the Dutch Grand Prix. That will be a safety car. He's parked that there for reasons, I guess. You've got to stop the car when your car's doing that, haven't you? You can't keep it going. Safety car deployed. Lando Norris is out. That means if it stays like this, Oscar Piastri will be 24 points clear. No, he won't. No, he won't at all, will he? 34 points clear. Is that right? In the Drivers' Championship, 25 plus 9. Is that... Oh, I don't want to say that live. Oh, 9 races to go. I'm not going to say that, but that's enormous. I'm not happy that Lando's retired, by the way. I might be laughing, but I'm laughing because Hadjar's P3 and that's bloody brilliant. But Lando Norris, that's going to be devastating. That's it, Kevin. What if Oscars goes? Do McLaren now feel the need to turn things down, or not turn things down, but asking to manage the car, which then puts Verstappen on his tail? Could that change things? Could they now decide to change his engine in Monza just in case? It's these things. I'm going to give you an example, and we're going back a couple of years to the Nürburgring. I think it was 1997. Mika Hakkinen was leading in cruise control. It felt like both McLaren retired mechanical issues at pretty much the same time. Was that the Nürburgring? I might be wrong on the race, but they definitely did. Just stopped. Both the one pulled off and then the other pulled off. And that was it. So it can happen. We've seen it as well more recently than 97, but that is always when you have 2 teammates retiring outside of a collision. The first place my mind goes is the McLarens of Hakkinen and Coulthard in 97. And that, ladies and gentlemen, along with the collision in Canada, is a picture and a shot you're going to see a lot if this championship now goes to Oscar Piastri. Oh, and that one's going to be Charles Leclerc looking at his watch. Oh, he's on a phone. I was going to say he's talking to Zordon on his communicator there, but I think he's on a phone or listening to a radio. But yeah, if you're just tuning in, Lando Norris has retired from the Dutch Grand Prix with what I'm going to call an engine failure because there was smoke coming out the back, but it could have been all sorts. But it is game over for Lando. I do feel sorry for him. That's not a British bias thing. I feel sorry for anyone in that situation. Just went pop. Doesn't that feel a little bit Malaysia? 2016 was it? A little bit, doesn't it? I can't hear what they're saying on the radio because I can't have the commentary too loud because the mic's a bit overly sensitive. But yeah. Crofty's saying that's reminiscent of Mika Hakkinen in the trees at Monza, but I don't think Norris was crying, was he? He just had his head in his hands. I would say more reminiscent of Leclerc in Paul Ricard a few years back, but that was because of a driver error, not because of mechanical problems. So actually wasn't Hakkinen as a driver error as well. So thanks, Crofty, but irrelevant, mate. I feel sorry for him, and I'm actually gutted because whilst I'm happy for Hadjar and happy that my driver's now P2, I'm actually gutted because that could be, with 9 races to go, the end of our hopes of a good title fight to Abu Dhabi. But then flip that around, we've now got to see if Lando Norris can come back. So oil leak, it seems, has sighted canvas. So how are we feeling in chat? That's a shame. Obviously Piastri, big opportunity here. This could be the pivotal moment in the championship. I would imagine Piastri is going to be not going to be taking too many risks here if Verstappen sends one. So this could be Max's chance to nick a win at home, actually. Send it, because Piastri ain't going to take any risks from here, because even 18 points is a big gain in the championship, but he could leave here with a 34-point lead. Yeah, exactly, John. That's exactly what I was getting at. Max can take the risk here. He knows Piastri. If Max sends it to turn 1, Piastri is going to leap out of the way so quickly. It's not worth the risk. So yeah, shame for Lando. I feel for him. But we go racing. It happens. Mechanical problems, driver errors, silly Antonelli moments in turn 3. They all happen. And that doesn't mean, as people have kind of touched in the chat, that doesn't mean that in Monza, Piastri's engine won't go bang, or later in the season, it can swing back just as easily. That's kind of the point scoring system we have these days. It means that one retirement can destroy your season, but if your rival retires, it swings back so quickly, doesn't it? So I would expect McLaren to be 1-2 for much of the rest of the season, mistakes and penalties and failures aside. So if in Monza Piastri's leading and his engine goes bang, then it swings back again, doesn't it? So it can change very quickly, but this feels like quite a big moment. Current vote split for driver of the day, by the way, 36%. Isaac Hadjar, his closest challenger, is Max Verstappen on 9%. So Isaac Hadjar, who is on the brink here. Don't forget as well, Russell carrying a bit of damage. Alex Albon not far away either. So this is going to get spicy. Ignore the timing on screen. Listen to me getting overexcited about traffic, which is basically what this is. We're about to go racing again for 4-5 laps of absolute chaos. Light drizzle as well, says Max Verstappen. Hand grenade. Boom. Please do drop a like as well, by the way, if you haven't already. And subscribe as well if you're new. Lots to come this season and this weekend. And indeed, between now and the end of the race, we're 6 away from 100. Let's get those likes in. Here we go then. Oscar Piastri backing them up. There's drizzle. And nothing to lose for Max Verstappen. It's a good restart for Piastri. Gets through that final corner nicely. Just needs to keep his head here. Verstappen will close in, and he's going to get a good run. Will he just send it with nothing to lose? In fact, Piastri trying to break the toe. Verstappen not close enough, or is he? No, he's not close enough. Russell having a look at Hadjar. Hadjar needs to keep his head and stay calm here. But don't forget as well, those cars behind Piastri all on the soft tyres. So they're going to be quicker with the warm-up, but they are quite used. I mean, Verstappen's 15 laps on softs is going to be a bit of a rougher ride than the 15 laps for Piastri, who has managed that absolutely beautifully. 6/10 clear already, so well done on the restart there to Piastri. But Verstappen, if he stays within DRS, could bring himself into play. In fact, he's closing in here. What? Piastri's okay, isn't he? Because Verstappen was closing in there quite a bit, but Piastri seems to have managed that now. He's pulling away again, but I was looking for the helicopter shot there, and I thought, is he slowing? But he's not. As Karun Chandot says, though, what's playing on McLaren's mind here? They'll be looking at all sorts of telemetry. I bet they won't stop looking at it. But at the moment, Piastri seems to have managed this okay, or very well, as Tsunoda moves ahead of Pierre Gasly, by the way, into P10. And that is drops at times is what the official weather says. So it is raining, and that is so Verstappen will have DRS, but not until the turn 10 zone. but there's a whole lap or half a lap to get to that point yet, and Piastri's still pulling away. So we'll see what happens from here. What a return for F1. It was all looking a bit flat this race, wasn't it? And then it all sort of started kicking off. So, but Piastri now, he's got the gap to Verstappen at a second. It's this middle sector where Verstappen's rapid. He's been pretty quick in there. He got purple, didn't he, in qualifying through there. So he's been pretty quick through the middle sector all weekend. So maybe not a huge shock to see him closing in. Very Red Bull, that sector, I guess. But yeah, the McLaren clearly capable of pulling that gap in Sector 1 and Sector 3. For the final time, just a reminder, the timing, if you're just tuning in, is wrong. Norris is out of the race, and Piastri is currently leading after a safety car. There's an issue with my MultiViewer and some others as well. Not sure what's going on. I'll resolve it with Monza. Apologies for the final time. But yeah, hopefully all good for next weekend. But Isaac Hadjar has got a 1.1 second gap to George Russell. That is huge for him. What he needs to do with a couple of laps to go is just make sure he keeps Russell out of DRS, but also that he manages to gap to Albon, because Albon is within DRS here of George Russell. So Albon could yet come at Hadjar. So I think we all want to see a Hadjar podium, but we wouldn't be too disappointed if Albon got it either, would we? I mean, that'd be quite amazing. But in a Williams. But yeah, come on, Isaac. Let's get this done here. Piastri looking good, in control, 1.6. What positions Gasly told on the radio? Gasly drops to 16th, so he's just absolutely dropped like a stone. And Colapinto goes through to P12, but I'm not sure what happens to Gasly there. I keep looking at the driver tracker. It's irrelevant, isn't it? Yes! Michael, 17 cars left. Nobody retire. Nobody. That's it. That's 3 points on predictions. And if Russell can get fastest lap... Did he go for Russell fastest? I need to know now. Sorry. Screw the race. Forget Hadjar. This is bigger. Yeah, Russell needs to get fastest lap. Sauber needs to do 5th best finishers. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're not. That's a shame. I'm going to get 3 points out of this if it stays like this. No, I won't. 2. Damn it. Norris is out. Damn. Down to 2, but it's still 2 more than he usually gets. So anyway, sorry. That'll be nothing to some people. But here we go then. The final lap of the race. Oscar Piastri managed to restart very, very well. His teammate is out of the race. This is going to be, as it stands, I believe, unless I'm terrible at maths, 25 plus 9 is 34. A 34-point championship lead with 9 to go. Just a reminder, yes, Romain Grosjean played a big hand in it in Belgium, but Alonso was 42 points clear of Sebastian Vettel in 2010 and Vettel in 2012, and Vettel won the title. So it can swing, or 40 points. Was it 2012 or 2010 I'm thinking of? Either way, there's been bigger gaps than that, but 34... I thought he was slow there. I keep spotting Piastri at corners. I'm like, he's slow. He's very slow. Annette's probably dancing. But here we go. Into the chicane for one last time. And Oscar Piastri, if he gets it all right in these final 2 corners, there is a bit of drizzle around. Don't forget that. Comes through 13. He'll take this nice and easy, I imagine, through 14. And unless he has a right moment here, he's going to do it. Oscar Piastri wins the Dutch Grand Prix of 2025. Max Verstappen is second, and Isaac Hadjar gets himself on the podium for Racing Bulls. What a weekend for Hadjar. What a drive for Hadjar. Bet he's in that bloody Red Bull by Monza. You know what Helmut Marko's like. But what a drive. What a drive from Hadjar. And Oscar Piastri, really the win. He's had this under control all race. It never felt like Lando Norris was going to threaten him too much. The gaps did come down a few times, but I think Piastri looked like, unless something chaotic happened, he was always going to win it. But the big story for Piastri today is that his teammate retired and scores nothing. That is a 34-point World Championship lead with 9 races to go. Are Australia on the brink of their first Drivers' Champion since Alan Jones in 1980? What a moment. But Isaac Hadjar, Piastri fastest lap on the last lap as well, did he as well, Clansom? I didn't catch that one, but yeah, no, he has got the fastest lap of the race, but that is a mega result for Hadjar. Really happy. I mean, great driving qualifying yesterday. He's got driver of the day, obviously, but I don't want to take anything away from Hadjar, but I will say, I did say in qualifying yesterday, post-quali, that Hadjar's put himself in a position that if he can maintain that and something happens ahead, he might get a big payoff. That's what happens. So can I have a point for that in my predictions, please? Yeah, don't promote Hadjar. He won't score podiums in the Red Bull. He might stay at Racing Bulls, hasn't he? And pick up all the podiums he can. But cracking weekend for Hadjar. And actually, I will say, we'll come to the championship as well, and we'll talk about it a bit more in a bit of a reaction after the session once I've done the order and that. But I will just say that actually, that's a nice result for Hadjar in the sense that he's had a bit of a rougher run lately. He has had a great start to the season, rookie of the year, started to struggle a bit. Lawson came back. That's a big. That's how you. Looking at Kimi Antonelli, respectfully, that's how you do that. You've had a rough run, not the best. Come back, deliver that, boom. Hadjar's hasn't been as bad as Antonelli, I will stress that, but, not where he was earlier in the season. So well done to him. Double points for Haas as well, as somebody said in chat there, Nick, so well done to Haas. Tsunoda got a couple of points as well, so 2 more points for Red Bull, and of course Max Verstappen P2. At his home Grand Prix, and somehow George Russell's 4th. Antonelli, by the way, after those penalties, drops to 16th place. So yes, if you are disappearing, just to let you know, we'll stay live for a good half an hour, 45 minutes yet. So please do drop a like before you go, and subscribe as well if you are disappearing. But yeah, thank you for your company this afternoon. Apologies again for the live timing. Not a lot I can do about it, so I am sorry about that. But I'll try and get that sorted for Monza. I might even roll back the update if I have to. But yeah, thank you for your patience and bearing with me. I did my best to keep up with it, but it all got a bit chaotic. But I do appreciate your time, and I know you could be doing 100. I'm stealing City Planner Plays line here. There are 1,001 things you could have been doing today, and you chose to hang out with me. So thank you very much. Appreciate that. But likes and subs before you go, please. That'd be appreciated too. If you are staying with me, though, we'll watch the podium. I'll run through the order in a second as well. I'll have a drink, run through the order. We'll react to the race a little bit. We'll do some championship talks. I think we need to now, don't we? That's a massive day in the title. And we will fawn over Isaac Hadjar for a good 20 minutes or so. So, yeah, thank you for your support, guys. You've been absolutely brilliant. But, yes, we are... It's all over. It's come to an end. I will move back to photos at the bottom now that that's done, because there's no point leaving that running as the driver tracker. But yeah, thank you. I'm going to have a quick drink then. I want to watch Hadjar on the podium, so I'm going to go for a drink. 15 seconds. You can count them. I'll come back and then we'll do the order, and then we'll watch Hadjar pick up his first ever F1 trophy. There we go. Oscar Piastri has won the 2025 Dutch Grand Prix, but the big twist today, Lando Norris retired with a mechanical issue right towards the end of the race, and that means Oscar Piastri comes away from the Dutch Grand Prix with a 34-point championship lead with 9 to go. We'll talk about that in a bit. Max Verstappen never really looked like properly challenging the McLarens. He had a go early on, got past Norris once Norris got through. He had a couple of little looks after safety cars, but was never going to happen. But P2 for him, he'll be very happy with that result. P3 though, Isaac Hadjar, what a result. Like I said yesterday, keep himself out of trouble. He did what he needed to in qualifying. Bit of drama ahead. He might pick up something special. He gets his first podium. Driver of the day as well. So congratulations to Isaac Hadjar there. George Russell, despite a collision with Charles Leclerc and damage and having to let his teammate through at one point and seemingly falling away, he somehow ends up P4. So great stuff for George today. George Russell does nothing. P4. We'll do that one this time. Alex Albon, P5 for him. Absolutely fantastic drive as well. He was really angry after qualifying yesterday, so a great way to bounce back. Ollie Behrman in 6th place. Somebody said in chat a moment ago, has continued to be consistently weird, which is about right. That was Boom Spoon. Yeah, about right there. But 6th place for Behrman. Is that his best results? I feel like he might have had a 5th somewhere, but we'll say best result for now. Correct me if I'm wrong in chat. 7th for Lance Stroll from the back of the grid, so well done to him. A bit of a question mark over his early stop, but it all worked out in the end. Safety cars would have played their part. Great result. 8th place for Alonso. There were times this race where I thought he was going to be in trouble to score points, but actually that'll be a good result in the end. Thought they'd be higher today, but didn't work out. Tsunoda, 9th place, 2 points. Not epic, but still a couple of points for Red Bull, which is an improvement on where he's been of late in more recent races. And the final point goes to Esteban Ocon in 10th. Franco Colapinto, half a second. 4.5 tenths off his first F1 point for Alpine of 2025. P11 for him. Liam Lawson, somehow P12. Carlos Sainz, P13. Nico Hulkenberg, P14. Bortoletto, P15. Antonelli, P16. Gasly P17, and then Norris, Leclerc, and Hamilton retired. Norris with that mechanical problem. Leclerc having been torpedoed by Kimi Antonelli. Did he get his 10-second penalty, or are we still waiting on that one? But he definitely got the 5 for his pit lane speeding, and Lewis Hamilton got it all wrong at turn 3 and crashed into the wall. Should say as well, Carlos Sainz's 10-second penalty. Don't agree with that at all, but here we are. He's down in 13th. He must have said that at a stop, though, so there we go. But great result for Piastri. Great result for Hadjar. And Haas will be very happy as well, so there we go. Get your comments and your questions in. We'll read quite a few over the next half hour, 45 minutes, and then we'll wrap it up for today, and I'll go make my dinner and then come back and edit Thomas's video, start editing Thomas's video. Not sure what we're talking about. I assume the championship fight might be an option there, and maybe Hadjar. It might be a day for a wrap, actually, because there's quite a lot to wrap up there, so maybe that's what he needs to do, but I'll chat with him in a minute. But yeah, I agree, Kaori. The penalty for Sainz was professional head-on, questionable, F1 fan head-on, bullshit. Lance Stroll did well today, says J Webb. Agree. Unfortunately for Lando, guessing it's a side effect of following for the entire race, says Moray. It could have been a factor, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he was always sort of, for much of it, he was 1 to 2 seconds behind, wasn't he? So maybe, and they say, sorry, did I make a horrible noise? I apologise. Sorry, Kevin. I didn't mean to. I sometimes forget that I'm on a live stream, I've got a microphone now, and just go into it. So I do apologise. He does it again to deafen Kevin completely. Unless it was the swearing that might have done it. It was the cursing what did it. Oh, no. Damn. Oh, I did it again. Oh, no. Great race overall. Racing was met. Drama was excellent, says Michael. Yeah. I think as a spectacle, it became enjoyable. It was a little bit flat to start with, wasn't it? But certainly came good as a spectacle. It depends what you want from your racing, I guess. Some will say it was a great race. Others will say it was just a lot of fun and a bit of drama. So, yeah, but Isaac Hadjar, looking forward to seeing him on the podium here. Not the winner, but he's going to feel like that in a Racing Bulls in P3. But, yeah, please help Marco. Just leave him alone. Give him the rest of the season at least. Norris is now minimum 5 wins behind Piastri if Piastri finishes second in all of those races, says Addy Boy. Yeah, that is a... Anything can happen. If Piastri retires from Monza and Lando wins, it's back to 9 points. Could then swing the other way a couple of races down the line. Monza can be a bit of an engine breaker, can't it? But, you know, Baku, the walls and things like that final sector always terrifies the life out of me. Things can go wrong, so plenty of time. And the race is going to come thick and fast now. We've got Monza next week off, then it's Baku, then a week off, then Singapore, then a week off, and then it's just double and, apart from Brazil, double and triple headers to the end of the season. So, fatigue? I don't know if that's an issue after a summer break. I don't know, but yeah. Fudd says, I've just watched the Sainz incident. He was not alongside enough to be given racing room, but in my opinion, Lawson had a snap of oversteer, which means he wasn't fully in control, so negates the rule, says Fudd. I'd need to see a couple of replays of both on boards to say, I might, you know, the benefit of hindsight. We'll talk about it next weekend. If I've watched a replay that makes me change my view, you know, I'll let you know, but it's watching that live, that is extremely harsh on Carlos Sainz, but I can appreciate that the stewards have a lot more data, a lot more angles, don't they? So let's see. Good point as well from Moray. Lando might have a penalty later on as well. Of course, that's his. I don't know which. I can tell you. Let's have a quick look, actually. That was a great shout from Moray. That could come into play. I think I... No, I don't feel like everyone needs to, do they? So let's have a look and see if we've got the list. They sometimes do, and they sometimes don't. That's been recalled. There we go. Let's have a look. So... what's the maximum for the season? Remind me, chat, I've forgotten. But Lando Norris, I mean, he's on 4, coming to this weekend, he was on 4 ICEs, 4 turbochargers, 4 MGUHs, 4 MGUKs, 2 energy stores, 2 control electronics, and 3 exhausts. So actually, yeah. So taking a new one, he will need to take penalties, won't he? It's 4 for the season, isn't it? It is. I think it's 4. Yeah. So if he has to take a change, which, I mean, he could put an old engine in, but it's Monza, so you might... I know we're kind of getting a bit ahead of ourselves there, but let's just a point to make as he presses the button for some fireworks because lol. But if you're McLaren and Lando's may need to take a penalty, do you take it at Monza where you've got the long straights, you need the power, and it's possible to overtake? Is that just do it next weekend, get it out of the way? Or do you just put an old engine in and try to take the hit later in the season? Because I'm just thinking you won't take it in Baku. You're not going to take it in Singapore. Maybe Kota? Mexico, you probably wouldn't. Brazil, I can't see you taking the final 3 races. So you just take it next weekend, get it out of the way. The trouble is, if you're looking at it from Lando Norris's point of view, he's going to want to bounce back next weekend, isn't he? He's going to want to come back and get it done. So, because the trouble is, I mean, if let's say Piastri takes pole, Norris takes his penalty and starts wherever he starts towards the back end of the grid or even at the back of the grid. By the time he gets through the field, Piastri's gone, so that's another 7 points, isn't it? So, yeah, Monza isn't easy to overtake. Don't get me wrong, but you can overtake at Monza. I'm just thinking the extra power with the new engine down that long straight in particular and into that chicane, you've got a better shot there than Singapore, for example. So, I'm sure that's a conversation they'll be having post race and going into Monza, but that's quite. They're in the cool down room here. First time in F1 for Isaac Hadjar in the cool down room. He'd have been there for F2, of course, but yeah, Max Verstappen. Hadjar a bit shocked at his move. There goes Norris around the outside of turn 1 on Verstappen. So that was a nice move earlier in the race. Forgot about that one. The only thing with Abu Dhabi, Moray, with the penalty there is that you've left it quite late in the season, and the last thing you want to do is put your driver on the back foot going into that final race if there is something on the line. So, yeah, difficult. Whichever way you look at it, it's a tough call for McLaren to make. I'm just enjoying the highlights here as they look a bit shocked at the move from Antonelli on Leclerc, as we all were live. Like, what you're doing, Kimi? That's a bonkers situation. If you are just tuning in, by the way, the race has finished. If you're watching the driver, the timing tower there, you'll see still got 3 laps left. It is over. We've just had a bit of a problem today with that. So I'm going to say it, Isaac has bad hair. Look, that's from Kevin, all right? Kevin, I am in no position to comment on anybody's hair. His hair is wonderful to me. I would give my left arm I give my left arm to have that hair. So I think it's wonderful. Amazing hair. Fantastic. Brazil is a power track, so Brazil would be a good shout. Is it a sprint in Brazil? Oh, no, forget that. We don't have the old system for sprints, do we? So the one where it set the grid, so that's irrelevant. But yeah, no, sprint weekend, new engine, Brazil, mate. Yeah, Brazil could be a shout. Still got 3 races after that, haven't you? Qatar, Vegas, Qatar, and Abu Dhabi. So... yeah. I did see someone make a really good point that I thought I'd read because... where are you? It was a really fair comment and I want to read it and I bet I can't find it now. There we go. From Latoc says, the swing is big, but not a complete championship decider. I would say 75% Piastri is the next world champion, but there is still a chance. And that is a great comment as well, because... whilst it's a bit doom and gloom if you're a Lando Norris fan right now, these things, they can swing so quickly, and it just takes one moment, one mistake from Piastri, which doesn't seem likely, let's be honest, but one mistake from Piastri, a mechanical problem, a badly timed safety car, that can all swing things very, very quickly. So as long as there's a chance, Lando will give it everything, and McLaren will give it everything for him to get himself back into the hunt. But Piastri now... Piastri can Alain Prost his way to this championship from this point on, can't he? And if you're a long-time F1 fan or even a new one that knows the history, you'll know exactly what I mean by that. Lando slings it up the inside. Okay, Lando, after you, I'll take second place because it's only 7 points. He can do that a lot more now between now and the end of the season. He'll want to win. Don't get me wrong. He's not going to give up the lead easily, but he's not going to take any risks, whereas Norris now has got to really take some risks and probably has to take a penalty at some point as well, unless his other engines are in good shape. But yeah, Isaac Hadjar, here we are on the podium. No offence to Piastri and Verstappen, they've done this plenty of times. This is all about Isaac Hadjar right now. Yeah, but Australia. I can hear Annette dancing. Should be asleep, but I bet she's dancing. By the way, the race is officially finished now on the timing tower. So there you go. MultiViewer is done. It'll all catch up now. Everything will be fine. Oh, any comments? Well, keep an eye on Isaac Hadjar now while he gets his trophy and that. But what was the gap by Nico and Lewis after Malaysia 2016? Says Jamie. Oh God, Jamie. That wasn't in Sam's video, was it? 2016 Malaysian Grand Prix. The gap was. Oh, I don't know what Jamie's getting at here. If he's getting at what I think he's getting at. The gap was 23 points. 288, 265. Ricciardo was still in championship contention after the 2016 Malaysian Grand Prix, by the way. Just to let you know. So it's 23 points. And that was round 16 of 21. So 5 to go. Less time to turn it around, to be fair, but still. I don't know what point you're making, Jamie, but yeah, it takes one race for it to swing again. Exactly. Let's see. The stewards document is up for the sites. I'll tell you what. Let's just enjoy the moment as we see another new podium winner. Obviously, Nico Hülkenberg, after 332 years, finally got his podium this season, and this is the first time for Isaac Hadjar as well. So a rookie season as well, by the way. Don't forget that. I know the podium has come because Norris retired, but he was in P4 all race. He drove brilliantly yesterday to put the lap in the first place. He defended really well where he needed to. He was never that far, relatively speaking, away from Max Verstappen in the Red Bull, and he drove superbly well. This isn't just all luck. The P3 is because of the safety car, but his drive was superb, so he deserves... he wanted that big trophy, didn't he? He deserves all the plaudits for this. This isn't just a fluke from Hadjar. He's driven superbly all weekend, so... Addy Boy says one race isn't going to swing it, it will close it. Oh, swing it back then. Swing it back to 9 points is the point we were getting at, really. But, yeah. 2 races could swing it, of course. It's defence from Charles early on. Yeah, good shout, CPB. Here we go, then. Isaac Hadjar. You can hear the crowd get excited. He gets his trophy. It's P3 for Isaac Hadjar. Well done. Looks very happy with that. He's impressed me so much this year. He really, really has. Very happy for him. The dignitaries leave the stage quickly, or the podium quickly, and it's the champagne for Oscar Piastri, Max Verstappen, and Isaac Hadjar. Really, for Sean, there's no Ferrari there, but that's as close to a perfect podium as I can get, isn't it, really? Piastri, Verstappen, Hadjar. Based on all the hype I put around some of these bloody drivers and my favourites out there, but yeah, still gutted for... Norris as well, and for us as fans. I want a good fight, so I'm hoping that he can bring himself back into play. But I mean, look, if Piastri doesn't crash out or doesn't have a mechanical problem and Norris still wins this, it's going to be one hell of a turnaround, and people's opinions might just change a bit. But no, I mean, I don't think Norris did anything wrong today. That's just a mechanical problem, isn't it? So it happens. But Oscar Piastri, that's a cool photo. Smile, Isaac, for God's sake, you're on the podium. And Piastri, that's about as smiley as we ever see him in photos, isn't it? Bless him. But yeah, momentum, as you say, Addy Boy, is definitely with Piastri now. So big moment. But yeah, I'll keep the noise on so I can hear what Sky is saying, just in case they talk to a driver, see how they're feeling. But yeah, I don't care about Liverpool. Sod off, Sky. I'll burn my eyeballs out rather than look at them. It's a bit much, wasn't it? Let's be honest. It's a bit violent on here today. I can't be having it. Where are we up to? So, yeah, we'll do some questions. Get your Q&As in. Or your questions in. I'll do the answers. You can do the answers to your own questions if you want. It'd be a bit weird. But get your questions in. We'll talk about that. We'll look ahead to Monza. We've sort of digested what's happened now. Like I say, my initial reaction to all of that as a race was it was a bit as expected for Zandvoort initially, and we were all starting to get a bit sort of radar watchy, weren't we? We were desperate for a bit of rain, and then it just started to pick up, and then Hamilton made his mistake, and then for whatever reason, Antonelli had his moment, and then Norris, and things just sort of picked up a bit there. But I think that was heading towards being quite a straightforward race, is what I'm getting at. So I'm glad something happened, but I wasn't expecting quite the swing in the championship like that. That is a big advantage for Piastri, but delighted with Verstappen P2 and very, very delighted with Hadjar in P3. So, yeah. Excluding the top 10, how much the top 10 finished in the points? I don't understand that, Nilesh. It's probably not your fault. It's probably my brain. Excluding the top 10, how much of the top 10 finished in the points? Trying to work out if that's a joke or if I'm missing something, but yeah, it was a good way to come back from the break. That's a good point from Kaori. Jithu says lovely race as well. But yeah, show MasterCard what they're getting, says Kaori. There you go. You need a bit of a boring to make the drama more exciting. True, that's very, very true. What would be more embarrassing? Man United lose to Burnley or Ferrari's inevitable bottle job at Monza with Q2 exits next week against the CPB? We beat Burnley, mate. Probably shouldn't have. Well, yeah, we should have. We should have had that game wrapped up by half time, but apparently Ruben Amorim wasn't putting away the chances that his system created, so that's on him. Was expecting an engine to explode. Did enjoy it though, Society Canvas. It's again, this isn't anti-Norris, by the way, or Uncle Norris, but it's not anti-Norris. I do like an engine blowing up in F1, but they don't do what they used to do. I know there's reasons behind that, but proper boom. That was it. Coulthard blowing up in Monza, and Schumacher and Hakkinen coming through the smoke, or that proper blow up. That's what we want to see. Quali versus race result. Is that what you're getting at, Nilesh? Okay, I can get the grid back up. Let's have a look, or I can fetch it. Let's have a look. So, if MultiViewer was working properly, which it should have caught up now, shouldn't it? So it might be doing now. So Verstappen, Hadjar, Russell all up 1. Albon's up 10, by the way. Behrman 14, Stroll 12, Alonso 2, Tsunoda 3, Ocon 8, and Colapinto up 5. So the top, I think only Piastri finished where he started. And in terms of top 10 qualifiers, so let's say we'll have to include the leaders. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. I've got 5. 5 drivers who started in the top 10 finished in the top 10, so half. Half of those who qualified top 10 finished top 10. Is that right? 5? Because you'd have Piastri, Verstappen, Hadjar, Russell, and Alonso. Yeah, 5. Samar says, what happened to Norris? That was for chat. I think it's been answered, but I'll answer it anyway for anyone just tuning in. Yeah, his engine blew up. Well, we're saying engine. It was a mechanical failure. A lot of smoke out the back of the car and in the cockpit as well, actually, with about 8 laps to go. And that was game over. So, yeah. It's a sad times for Norris there. It's the swing in the championship. If you have a look at I'll just run through the championship as well, because this should have all updated now. So, as I say, yeah, 34-point gap now. I am going to just... look, I having a brain fart, okay? Leave me alone. I'm actually getting a calculator out just to double check I'm not being silly. So it is 34. My brain is... You know when you know something's right, but your brain tells you it's wrong regardless? That's what's happening there. 34 points to gap. Oscar Piastri back to Lando Norris. 309 for Piastri. 275 for Norris. Verstappen moving ahead of Russell, clear of Russell now. A little bit clear of Russell. 18 points today. 205 plays 184. Leclerc stays on 151. Hamilton on 109. And then Kimi on 64. What I am going to say... I don't know if everyone's spotted this. Antonelli in 7th place in his Mercedes has 64 points. Alex Albon in 8th place in his Williams has 64 points. Alex Albon, when you listen to some of the radio this season and the bad race he's had and the frustration he's been showing, is on the same points as Kimi Antonelli. That is a mega effort from Alex Albon. Nico Hülkenberg stays on 37, is now joined by Isaac Hadjar on 37 points. He moves into 10th place. Lance Stroll is 11th on 32, with Alonso 12th on 30. Ocon on 38. Pierre Gasly has 20, as does Liam Lawson. Ollie Behrman has 16. Sainz has 16. Bortoleto 14. Tsunoda's 2 points today still only takes him to 12, and he stays 19th. The only drivers behind him are Franco Colapinto, who has yet to score, and Jack Doohan, who is yet to score and probably won't score unless Alpine decide to make another change. But that's a big deal. A big deal there for Alex Albon. Well done to him. In the Constructors, close at the top, McLaren 584 points versus 260 for Mercedes. Is it or Ferrari? Ferrari, just the 324 points between them. Mercedes 12 further back in third place with Red Bull. I mean, they're going to be fourth, aren't they, this season? I don't see that changing. So 214 points for them. Fifth for Williams on 80. That's a big result today with those 10 points. But Aston Martin also got 10 points. They've got 62. And Racing Bulls are now firmly in the fight for P5 with that podium there. 60 points for them. 20 away from Williams. Sauber falling away a bit. 51 points for them. Haas have got 9 points, so that's 44. And Alpine still sit rock bottom on just 20 points this season. Not good at all. Constructors is done. It's not even. I could try and hype it up if you like. Who's going to finish second? Probably Mercedes, because Ferrari are useless. John says, well, what a racer. Hey, yeah. It came good, didn't it? It was looking a bit early doors, but it came good. Very, in some moments, very post summer break rusty. That Verstappen move on Norris was ballsy at the start. Yes, I know he was offline on the dirty stuff, and that's why his car went all over the place, but that could have been a moment. Antonelli creaming into the side of Leclerc was silly, but you could say rusty. Hamilton's mistake, we don't see many of them in a race, so that was a bit rusty as well, wasn't it? So, but I saw that in practice a lot. That period in FP1 where 4 drivers just decided to spin or crash, which was bizarre. So, bit of rustiness, but I enjoyed that. Frustrating that I couldn't get MultiViewer working properly, so that was annoying me more than anything, but the race made good, so that's fine. 4-way fight for 5th in the Constructors. Yep, I think so. You are looking at Williams, Aston, Racing Bulls, maybe Sauber, if they can bounce back from this weekend. But yeah, it's going to be fun, whatever happens. I don't want to hear Jacques Villeneuve, to be honest with you. Let's talk about who will come last in the Constructors, says Kevin. Yes, it'll be Alpine. That's that sorted. Sorry. It's not great. Yeah, Ferrari are still P2, Jamie. I don't understand. I don't understand. Yeah, I can't wait for Monza. I love Monza as well, John. It's the atmosphere as well. Even watching on TV, you see it all, don't you? So, yeah. Anthony was just a rookie move, says Sighted Canvas. Yeah, it felt rookie move, but it also felt a bit silly and unnecessary. But I guess not defending him, but your tyres at that point, his tyres are in the best they're going to be. They're up to temperature. Leclerc's in front of you. Maybe he felt that was his one and only chance to get by, but given the run of race he had, I said this live, but given the run of race he's had of late, I know he wants to race and he's a racer and wants to get past, but I just feel like he could have just tucked in and just maybe taken a chance later in the race or just bank the points, because he really could do with a good result. And it was on for a good result, but yeah, drivers don't work like that, do they? Remember when Jacques Villeneuve won the 97 title? Cheated his way to it, yeah. If you knew, chat will explain. It's not a serious comment. Although, there was some. It wasn't all, he didn't have a totally clean season with the stewards, did he? There were a few things, yellow flags and fuel irregularities and stuff. Sainz now behind Behrman and Bortoleto, who are driving worse cars, says Moray. Yeah. Slightly Kevin says how to fix MultiViewer issue. Press and hold multi 21. Seb. Albon and Antonelli now tied on points in the championship. Yeah, I've gone through that one either. I spotted that one. It caught me off guard a little bit, but it's I think highlights Antonelli's struggles of late. But I think also looking at a positive side is that it highlights how good Albon's been this season with some of his results. So in fact, you know what? I was going to say I'd like to know how many top fives he's had. Let's have a look. 2025 F1 season. Oh, Wikipedia, where would I be without you? Well, having to guess. I feel like I said loads. 1, 2, 3. That's 4 top 5 finishes for Alex Albon and a Williams so far this season. A 6th place as well. 8th place a couple of nights, a 7th. So he's had a cracking season as Alex Albon, really. And like I say, when you actually listen to his radio at times, you think he's having the worst season of his life. But he's very, very, very much one of the drivers of the season in that midfield, I think. So to be level on points with Antonelli, whoever's in that second Mercedes, to be level on points with them is impressive. So I think good stuff. Your Schumacher underwear is showing, Sean. Yeah. How did Lawson Sites manage being ahead of 4 cars after being lapped at one point? This is the thing, right? You let the lap cars unlap themselves. They come back round. If they've got some fresh tyres on, they'll be overtaking easily, won't they, late on? So, I mean, 12th and 13th for Sainz, where they were 20 laps from the end, it's probably not a bad result, actually. But yeah, massive recovery drive from Ollie, says Kaori. I'm going to throw the question at you, and then I'll keep coming back for your questions and comments. But who's your driver of the day? Let me know. One surname in chat. It's a tricky one. Who is the driver of the day today? Oh, let me think. Officially, it was Isaac Hadjar, but surely we can't give him driver of the day as well. It's Isaac Hadjar, isn't it? Let's be honest. Hadjar with a big shout out to Albon as well for me. But yeah, it's gonna be Isaac Hadjar. There might be some left field options out there, but I think Hadjar is going to be most people's serious pick. There'll be somebody who says Van Dorn, and they are, of course, absolutely correct. But I think Hadjar's got to be in there. Let's look at other people. If Hadjar wasn't there, I'd be tempted by an Albon or a Behrman, to be honest. Stroll did come from the back of the grid. Behrman did 14 laps. I know the safety car helps in those situations, but yeah, that'd be a big shout, I think. So, Kevin said Hadjar or Stroll for driver of the day. Harati says Hadjar. Antonelli for screwing Matt says farted golf balls. Charlie says Hadjar, Albon, Behrman. Yinka says Hadjar, no contest. Michael says Hadjar and Behrman. Isaac is driver of the week, says Jamie. Good shout. A great qualifying yesterday, wasn't it? P4. 1 second. Norris just said he wants to have a burger and go home. Sounds a good idea, actually, doesn't it? Listen to what he's saying quickly, and then I'll come back to your shouts. Talking about positives, since he was quick today, the pace was there. Looks impossible to overtake. Good race. Just wanted to stay within 5 seconds. There you go. So, not really. He's saying a lot, but he's sort of not. What can he say? He's done nothing wrong. Here comes Piastri into the pen. I wonder if he'll go to his teammate or not spot him. No, I did wonder if he might arm on the shoulder sort of thing, but no. Yeah, just unlucky. He said it's not his weekend. He's just unlucky. I mean, nothing he can do. I mean, yeah, right, fine. Don't get stuck in dirty air, but like I said, it's so difficult to overtake here that you can't just. Yeah, it's big now, isn't it? This is what I want to hear. Sorry, I hate dead air. What's an angry Lando like? I don't think there's an angry Lando, is there? Just says we'll wait and see. I just wonder if he might say something about the championship, but we'll wait and see. Pretty much the line. Yeah. So anyway, back to sorry. I just wanted to listen to see if he said anything interesting, but well, I mean, what can you say in that situation? CPB says Mylander. Qualified 4th, got P3, says Jamie. I'm going to give it to Alex, says Kaori. Behrman made up a lot of places, says is it Reagan? I apologise. I'm terrible with names. Nilesh, Behrman's race strategist of the week. Hadjar for Moray with the jars there. 4 of them. Albon P15 to 5. Behrman with the lucky 20th to 6. That's Eva. Kaori says Alex, Hadjar, Ollie. Can't go with anyone besides Hadjar, says Sighted Canvas. Pascal says Hadjar, Behrman and Stroll. Yinka says Alonso was entertaining. Nilesh says Hadjar. Me after the pub burger, then go home. Yeah, pretty much. Piastri controlled things really well under pressure. Won the bloody race. Society Canvas, so honourable mention there. Lando just feels like he gets in his head too much after a bad result. Says Eva. Watch them give Russell a penalty in that investigation, says Neelish, probably. Or Sights, there you go. Kevin's off. Thank you, Kevin. Hey, have a good one, mate. And I will catch you next week. Hopefully, I know what that was, but there you go. You got it anyway. That's now Kevin's new salute. There we go. Thank you very much, mate. Always appreciate the company and the banter. Surprised no one is shouting Max is filling the blanks. He lost most of his chance at the championship, says Neelish. And George Russell is hilarious because he spent the most of his racing getting bullied or pissed, does nothing and still gets P4. Like how? I know. It's just the whole meme with George Russell, isn't it? So I'm not surprised people aren't shouting Max, to be honest, filling the blanks. I can't give Max driver of the day all the time. He's always my driver of the day. But that was sad. But no, I that mover, yeah, he did battle for it and tried to keep the McLarens honest, but he never really. It's really difficult to explain this because I don't mean because that car's not great, but he didn't do anything exceptional in that car. Whereas Hadjar all weekend has really, he's not outdriven the car because you can't. The car has the pace that it has, but Hadjar got everything out of his racing balls. You could argue the same for Verstappen. So I maybe some might give him a shout, but Verstappen will always be up there because it's Verstappen, but I can't look past your Hadjars today, who's got a podium on his rookie season. And then, Albon making up 10 places. Yeah, safety cars played a part, but yeah, I don't know. He's not had a bad race. I will say that. There's nothing against Verstappen there, but I mean, obviously. But Lando wants to go back to his home in Cloud City, says CVV every week. Every week there's a Cloud City reference. Great first out, then brought it home. Did Max? Yeah, look, I think I said it during the race, didn't I? Max Verstappen won't be happy to be second, first of the losers and all that. But given where the Red Bull has been this weekend or earlier in the weekend and where they've been of late, actually, he's going to be quite content with P2, I think. And he was never going to beat the McLarens today unless something happened. That's the point. I do find it interesting that Norris said it was impossible to overtake, but he overtook Verstappen around the outside of turn 1. So impossible's the wrong word, and that's just me being a pedant. I'm aware of that. I know exactly what he means. It's difficult to overtake. It was impossible. He'd still be behind Verstappen. Well, he wouldn't be out the race, but he would have been behind Verstappen. So there you go. Max has shown potential in getting promoted to that spicy Racing Bull seat society canvas. Yeah. Mark Webber being asked about the championship, don't write Land off, etc. Mark Webber, asking him about how quickly the championship can swing. He's going to know, isn't he? Let's be honest. I mean, nobody expected Vettel to win the title in 2010. At one point, it was Alonso v Webber all the way, and then boom, Seb turned up out of nowhere. So, have we had different Carlos after the race? No, not yet, Harasi. I'm looking. They are a little bit of a moment between the McLaren drivers there in the pen, but I haven't heard from Sainz, but I was watching Noah's interview. He looks a bit annoyed. Let me check the group chat, see if Thomas has slipped anything in there for me to read up on. I can't play you any of the audios. I'd love to. They're all from the pen, so they're restricted by FOM, so I can't play them. But yeah. Nothing. Lawson critical of Sainz for not talking to him and instead going through the media. Is what's been said there from Thomas. So that means Sainz must have said something somewhere. Yeah. Let's see if anything comes in from Sainz. I would like to hear from him because I'd imagine he's going to be very, very calm and very cool about it. But yeah, he's not Lawson not happy about Sainz going through the media apparently, rather than approaching him. But the trouble is, Sainz has just shoved his front of a microphone immediately, isn't he? So what's he supposed to do? You haven't got time to hunt down drivers and have conversations, really. Not proper conversations, but how's that conversation going to go? Not good, is it? 2026 Red Bull has a decent chance not to be a rookie shredder, says Neelish. Yeah, maybe, Eva, maybe. Fair enough. Could this be Hadjar getting a Red Bull seat next year, says Pascal? I think Hadjar is going to be the way they go. I think there is a reprieve for Tsunoda if McKees just give him a chance, and if they can sort of move the car this year more towards him so that he can actually pick up more consistent points. But if they're going to make a change, it'll be Hadjar, I'd have thought. Isaac got a podium before Yuki after 4 years. It's weird, says Jamie. Simon Lazenby, apologies for the abhorrent language that offended no one, says CPB. What was the word, CPB? I'm asking you for the word. You'll have to censor it because there's no way they'll let you put it in chat. But yeah, I didn't catch the word, so that's how offensive it was. It was probably poo or something. Apart from 50-year-old secondary school teachers. Yeah, basically. Lando is absolutely allowed to be sad about that result. Absolutely. I don't know. I can't think of any driver who wouldn't be, to be honest with you. It's... what? I don't know. I don't know what he's supposed to say. The thing is, as well, I've said this before, Lando Norris can't bloody win, can he? If he comes out and he's sort of there saying, oh, I'm really down about it, I'm upset, blah, 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 he gets torn apart. If he comes out and he doesn't, he gets torn apart. So I think Norris is going to be one of those drivers that just can never win in that situation. Is bloody a bad word in the UK? It'll be on the list of Ofcom's pearl clutching list. The list of the pearl clutching list is what I call it. That makes more sense. So it'll be rated as a swear word, but I think you can get away with it before the watershed. So if was it bloody? Are you kidding me? What are they apologising for bloody for? Fucking cunty bollocks. What? Seriously? Bloody? That's ridiculous. Chat, here's a job for you. Races left. How many points does Lando need to average to win the title over Oscar? They made him apologise for saying bloody exactly. Crazy. I just want to know what's been said by Carlos Sainz. It's gonna annoy me now. So I'm gonna try and find something while we're having a bit of a laughing chat, and then we'll. If I was a spider on my head, then that was gonna be me jumping up like a wimp and screaming. I don't think so, but yeah. Look, I've said this before. I'll say it again. If bad language offends you, then I'm sorry, but to me it's just language. Language evolves. I don't think, unless you're using it to abuse somebody. This was what I was saying about when they brought this rule in about not swearing in press conferences. If you use the F word in just general conversation, that's fine. If you use it to then verbally abuse somebody, it's not okay. You know, so I think just using bloody in this instance in an interview is fine, unless you're using it to abuse somebody. So yeah. It's the world we live in. It's always been a bit like that, but was it Mary Whitehouse? Oh no, I saw her ankles. Oh. Yeah, whatever. Piastri then is the winner. Don't forget that one. We'll get back to the race now. Stop slagging off dead old ladies, basically. Sky will panic if the driver has dropped the C-bomb. Definitely. Not the FIA closing the door on Carlos. Says Curry. Do they not want to talk to him? That's true, Yankee. You can abuse somebody using good language. That's true. My favourite, it's not a swear word, but my favourite thing to call people right now is a donut. I like people with donuts. Oh, you donut. It's just a more fun way of calling them a wally, basically. It's just, yeah, a div. Just whatever. Yeah, let me know. I'm not sure what you mean about Kaori. I don't know if, did they say no to talking to him, or? There's Leclerc sat on the hill earlier in the race. I imagine he's back at the pen now. He's going to be so frustrated by that one. No way. Carlos said he received a message that Stewart said they do not want to talk to him even though their doors are open. Wow. That's bad, isn't it? I mean, come on. Well, it's not bad. FIA can do as they like, but do they want 20 drivers knocking on the door at the end of every race? I suppose is a question, but you'd think they want to talk to him at some point about it. Yeah, the FIA just weird anyway, so. See you later, Side to Canvas. You've probably already gone, mate, but thank you for popping along. Appreciate the company. I will be finishing shortly because we're dropping the viewers now. They're all bored of Sean waffling and talking nonsense, but nonsense. But yes, so we'll be finishing soon. But I just want to see if we can get this Carlos Sainz thing in. But yeah, any questions though? We've done driver of the day. Hadjar definitely. We knew that one anyway. We've gone through the result. We've looked at the championship. We've talked a bit about Norris potentially taking a penalty with his engine. Hadjar's podium. We've talked a fair bit about, interspersed with other things. We've talked about good and bad language. Talked about everything but what we should be doing. But yeah, that's disgusting, CPV. a sock would have done. But yeah, if you've got any questions, any comments about the race, let me know. We'll wrap up in a few minutes, and I'll get my dinner and then come back and crack on with what I need to get on with for next week. Get ahead for tomorrow, make tomorrow a bit easier. It's just, it would be nice to talk to Carlos Sainz, but yeah, they're not going to, are they? But that won't improve his mood. Should Leclerc leave? It's hard to watch him now, says a Yinka. It's difficult to know where to put him, though, if he does leave. Could he be an option for Aston if they want to make a change after next season? If they've got a good car and Stroll isn't delivering, let's say Aston do build a car that's the second best car, and Alonso's on the podium every weekend and Stroll is 11th. Could that be an option for them if they want to challenge for constructors? Maybe. I don't see him in a Mercedes. I don't see him at Red Bull. Maybe McLaren if they decide to separate Piastri and Norris if they start tripping over each other. It's difficult. I think he's sort of in the best place he can be right now in terms of competitive car. Maybe not emotionally, given what he goes through that team. But I think he was good in Hungary, and then something went wrong. And then today he was driving well, and then Antonelli just torpedoed him. So he's had a good couple of races, really. In the grand scheme of things, I mean, not results-wise, obviously, but I get what you're saying. I'm just trying to think where you put him. Fair point from CPB, actually, replacing Hulkenberg at Audi in a few years' time, maybe. But then, do they want a German driver in there? I'm not sure how much of that matters to teams anymore. I mean, Mercedes came back in 2010, didn't they? And they had Rosberg and Schumacher, so they went all German in their lineup. And McLaren had an all British one at one point, but then Mercedes brought in a British driver, and so, yeah, I don't know. After 8 seasons, I still have no clue how good Leclerc is, to be honest, as Moray. It's a really crap example because people say, is that? I thought that was. Just for a second, I thought Stoffel Van Dorn was on media duties with Fernando Alonso there. It's like, wow, you've really taken a step back, Stoff. Anyway, I was going to say, yeah, I think it's not a great example because it has been so long now, but you go back and watch him in F2 and you can see the raw talent and the raw speed he has. But I'd imagine 6-7 years at Ferrari is enough to beat anybody into the ground, to be honest with you. I just can't think where you put him, really. And he loves Ferrari as well. For all the frustration, it's the dream for him. But Ferrari just aren't what they were. And somebody said, was it yesterday, that we're very close now, if not there already. A bigger gap between Ferrari's last title, driver's title, and Schumacher's first with them. Already, so yeah, we're plenty decades down the line since their last driver's title, it feels like, and I just don't see. I don't know. I don't try to say. I felt like McLaren would never get themselves back to title-winning ways, so I guess anything could happen. But I just don't feel like Ferrari are going anywhere. And I know I'm in Mercedes gear. If you knew, I just love the shirt and I love the merch, so that's why. But I love Ferrari. They are my team. They have been for forever. But they just don't feel like they're going anywhere. They're one weekend they're competitive. The next weekend they're dreadful. Then when they have an okay weekend, they get wiped out or something goes wrong or they make a mistake. But they came close to the Constructors' title last year. They're still second this year, which is great. So Fred Vasseurs doing a good job in that regard. But how much of that is because Antonelli's not delivering for Mercedes and Red Bull don't have a second driver? If Red Bull had a better second driver or a better second car that a driver could be competitive in, and Mercedes still had a top driver in that second car, no offense to Antonelli, would Ferrari still be second? I just don't feel they've moved anywhere. But they have moved because they're not fourth, they're second in the last 2 seasons. So it's not like they've. I can't explain it. My head just does not understand Ferrari. And I feel like this is why Charles Leclerc doesn't know what to do. And what you do with Charles Leclerc, he's probably doing this every night. I don't understand. We're not going anywhere. It's a very strange team. It's now absolutely hammering it down in Zandvoort. Of course it is. It has been about forever since the race finished. So, do you know what I mean? I can't explain it. I'll have a think this week and then throw the question at me again about Ferrari. whatever it was. It probably wasn't even a question. It's probably one that I just invented in my head. But we'll talk about it next weekend, maybe before quali or post quali, just see if I can explain it better. But I can't quite get the words right, and I don't want to sit here going for a half an hour trying to think about how to say it. So yeah. But that they just feel like they're not going anywhere, basically. Leclerc is a lazy but with more wins, says John T. The pole. Do you know what gets me with him? It's not even the pole to win stat. It's just the number of poles he's had. When I did the Leclerc video and I was looking at his stats, he's had 27 pole positions and 8 wins. Yeah, the conversion rate is crap, but 27 pole positions. That, even though I knew he'd had a lot, that surprised me. I don't know why it did, but also his age, as people are saying, he's not, he's what is he now? 27 years old, 28 in October. I'll kill to be 28 in October. God. But no, that's, a modern Gilles Villeneuve, says Jamie. I love Leclerc. One of the first videos on this channel was a video about how bloody good he is now. Deserved a seat in F1. He'd earned a seat in F1. But I don't think Leclerc is as special as Gilles Villeneuve was. And I say that as somebody who's only been able to go back and watch videos and DVDs and clips online about him and read up on him. But I don't feel like he's as special as Villeneuve. Leclerc is quick, and that qualifying stat proves that. He's quick. So maybe on that front, I can understand. I can maybe compare there, but I still think I'm trying not to, do you know what? Last line. It's not that he's not a special driver. It's not that he's not a rapid driver. It's not that he's not got the potential to be a world champion in the future. It's just I wouldn't put him next to Villeneuve for me. Gilles Villeneuve. He's way clear of Jacques Villeneuve. Who it doesn't matter what Jacques Villeneuve says or does. I'll never like him because he's a cheat. I can't believe he deliberately magnetized his Williams to pull that Ferrari into him at Jerez. And he got away with it. Awful. Dr. Robotnik. Arguably, Leclerc's pole count is inflated by his career being better at one-lap pace rather than race pace. A much more coherent way of thank you, Nilesh. A much more coherent way of making the point I was making is qualified pace is good. We know that. The younger generation quickly replaced you, though. Look at Norris and Piastri. Me? Oh no. I thought someone had walked in. I thought it was like that clip in, is it Family Guy? Maybe. Might be The Simpsons. Might be The Simpsons. That's a young person there, and yeah. Anyway, Sean loves Lance Stroll but hates Jack Villeneuve. I don't love Lance Stroll. I just think people jump on the bandwagon. He ain't good, but he ain't bad. Super fast, one of the best over one lap, but racecraft just lets him down too often. Villeneuve comparison is fair because wheel to wheel he gets scrappy. You've probably watched. I'm not saying that you watched him live, John T, but you probably saw more of Gilles Villeneuve or watched more of Gilles Villeneuve than me, video wise online. So, I will concede the point to your probably greater knowledge on that front. But I don't know. Do you know what? Do you know what I'm doing this week now? Thinking about what I want to say about Ferrari and watching Gilles Villeneuve videos. That's not a bad week, is it? In between work, of course. I won't just do that. I can get a bollocking on Thursday because I've done nothing but watch Gilles Villeneuve videos all week. Watch the race on F1 TV, but here for the waffle says MSC Biles or Beals Biles. I think we said before. I think. You said you don't care. You know who I'm talking about, but apologies if I butcher it, mate. I know who you are. You've been here a while. We'll rewind now to the start of Waffle. Well done, Hadjar and Behrman and Alonso. Albon, sorry, and even Stroll. Yeah, good stuff. Johnson says, yeah, that's it. Leclerc has a little bit of Max in him. Gritty fighter when he doesn't take no for an answer. And Dr. Robotnik, okay, Sonic, says Kaori, yeah. Anyone seen Sonic 3? Just out of interest, that's my question to you. And then we are going to come back to F1. Then I'm going to wrap it up. And then let's go to quarter 2. 8 minutes-ish. Yeah, that'll do then. But also, Honza... Yeah, John T. I mean, today, to be fair to Ferrari, actually, I said this a couple of times this weekend. Given where they were earlier in the weekend, qualifying where they did wasn't terrible. And it was better than I was expecting. And both drivers were racing well. But then Hamilton makes a mistake and sticks it in the wall. And Leclerc, minding his own business on the outside of turn 3, just suddenly finds that Antonelli's moved in and he's in the wall. So they've not done a lot wrong today, really, have Ferrari as a team. So it's less painful, but it's still painful. I've not seen any of the Sonic films as CPB. One, I enjoyed 1. 2 was okay. 3 was fine. It was. I wasn't that bothered by 3. It felt like a third part, a second sequel is what it felt like. Just kind of like let's monetize, like Home Alone 2. You know, let's just basically make the same film, but in New York. Why? Charles or 0608 Massa says CPB. Oh god, that's a long one. Don't know, because I said I'd finish at 1:45. So yeah. Except for Lewis asking to pit, Ferrari pit Charles, Lewis crashed a lap later. I must have missed that, John T. That was probably a moment where I was faffing with the timing, which would probably work perfectly now if we had another race, but there you go. So maybe they have done their usual. But if that's the only mistake Ferrari as a team, excluding driver errors, made all weekend, that's not bad actually, is it, to be honest? Let's be fair, it could have been worse. Surprise! I mean, they put the dries on Charles as the rain started to come down. I was like, oh, here we go again. But it turned out to be the right call, so yeah. Any more points? Let's move away from Charles Leclerc. Any more questions? I've got 6 minutes or so, and then we'll round off that. Honest to God, though, I could sit here and talk to you all day and just talk nonsense about F1 and anything you want to talk about, but I appreciate this is an F1 channel and I've got other things to do, and we're down to 97 viewers now, so I think I've annoyed people enough with my Jerez 97 propaganda. Anything post Home Alone 2 is pretty bad, to be honest, CPB, but that's my view. Yeah, just watched a few things there. I'm not sure. So that's what's going to do. The stewards document. Thank you. Just reminded me watching Villeneuve talk. So only summons for the Russell and Leclerc one. So nothing happening there at the moment. However, let's see what the stewards said about the Sainz one to round off the stream then. Here we go. The stewards reviewed all their usual stuff. Sainz was attempting to overtake Lawson on the outside of turn 1. The front axle of Sainz was not ahead of the front axle of Lawson at the apex of turn 1. Sainz attempted to stay on the outside of Lawson and a collision occurred. We considered that car 30, that's Lawson, had the right to the corner, and therefore Sainz was wholly or predominantly to blame for the collision. As is standard for a collision of this nature and as prescribed under the guidelines, we imposed a 10-second time penalty on Carlos Sainz and 2 penalty points. I don't know what to say to that. Based on the racing guidelines that the FIA put out, okay, I get it, right? But are we at the point now where drivers can't even try? I mean, yes, Sainz could have backed out. The throttle pedal works both ways, doesn't it? But are we at a point now where, the front axle of Sainz was not ahead of the front axle of Lawson at the apex of turn 1? I'm not. Look, the racing guidelines are out there. Fine, whatever. And if that's what's decided this, that's consistent. But I don't know. I don't agree, but if that's what the rules say and the guidelines say, then it's wrong for me to disagree because that's the right decision. But I don't think there was anything. I think that was racing incident all day long. I think both could have given space, both could have backed out, both could have, whatever. It just didn't fit. When we saw that live, I said that looks like a racing incident to me. 6 1, half dozen the other. Stewards have decided he was wholly to blame, and 2 penalty points. Tricky. We wanted the racing guidelines. We got the racing guidelines. And if that's what that means, then it's hard to argue with that based on the paperwork. But as someone who wants to see racing and people taking chances, then I think it's BS. But there you go. They're ignoring the most relevant point. Lawson understeered into him. Ergo, he's not in full control of his car. His fault. We have precedents this year for this. Also, I mean, they've got telemetry, I suppose, as well, John T. But was he not ahead at the apex because Lawson just sent the car in there like Max Verstappen has done in the past and doesn't even think about the apex, just wants to get there first? At which point, but I don't think that's what happened. Lawson seemed to be, apart from the moment where he understeered, but up to that point he looked in control. He wasn't throwing himself in there, but it's where's the apex? Who decides where the apex is? What's the telemetry saying? Where's the limit on the telemetry? Lawson had every right to run Sainz out of room, and Sainz should have passed and should have backed out of it. But that's why if it's an understeering thing and Lawson's not in control of his car, then that makes that point completely irrelevant. So I just think the whole thing was just a racing incident. I would not have penalised Lawson. I'd have just called that as, oh well, shit happens. You took a risk on the outside. Lawson understeered. That can happen. Oh well, but then that's why I'm not a race steward. Pedro Lamy was a race steward this weekend. That's a name I've not seen for a while. He's probably on every bloody one that I haven't seen, but that's, yeah. He was one of those that was on the old Grand Prix Manager 2 game. Used to like signing him. He was awful in the game. I don't know what it was like in real life, but yeah. Why should try and overtake if you're allowed to be pushed off the track so easily? There's not a driver on a grid that would do anything differently from Carlos, I think, says Jamie. Masters only Sainz to be blamed. Wow, okay. Kaori says so stupid. M. Harati, but Williams' rear axle was loose twice. Yeah, but it happens. I mean, look, a lot of people, and we're going back a few years now, said that I was bang out of order for saying that Sergio Perez stuck his teammate in the wall in Singapore a few years ago and that he should have been done properly for that. People say, oh, he should have been on the outside, but now that changes. Not you guys in chat, just people in general, but yeah. Is that the same penalty they gave Max for Spain incident? That's crazy. Max got 3 points, didn't he, for Spain? Sainz fans want Lawson sacked for Lindblad next week, lol. I know Lawson was out. Yeah, fine. If Lawson was completely out of control and I've missed that, then maybe he should have got something. But I think that can... I don't know. Like Antonelli, slam dunk penalty all day long. 100%. Not even... We were watching it live. I sat here commentating over it, and I said as I went in there, words to the effect of... Antonelli's gone for it. He's gone up the inside of turn one. He's understeered into him. Bang, hit him. That's a penalty all day long. We saw that. We know that. And I just think the Lawson Sainz one is a bit more ambiguous. Might be the wrong word. I can't think. It's been a long stream, but yeah. It's been no longer than any other stream. But yeah, I'm not. I don't know. I'll go watch some more angles. Again, we can come back. If you want to ask me this again next week, has your opinion changed? Feel free. You know I'll answer it if I spot it in chat. So, It's one of the difficult things about doing these watch-alongs is that I can't... It's why I won't do reactions and watch-alongs, because I haven't got the time after a watch-along to go there back and watch everything again to make sure I've got every bit of information I need. When we do it live, I have to go off a gut reaction at the time. My gut reaction at the time was that was not a penalty for either driver. I may go back and watch things tomorrow and go, oh, Jesus Christ, Lawson, or, oh my God, Sainz, I can't believe you got out of the car and stuck a knife in his tyres or whatever. I might see something completely different I didn't spot on the live, so that's my defence, and I'm sticking to it, Your Honour. Lawson missed the apex by quite a bit and looks like he lost grip twice, says Jamie. I'll go and have... I will. I will. I'll go and have a look, and then we'll go from there. And final question, do you think Isaac would do better than Liam and Yuki in a Red Bull, or will he end up the same, says Lana. Lana Ray, I think he ends up the same. Nothing against Isaac Hadjar, big fan, as you'll know from the video the other week. I haven't checked the comments on them. I assume they're okay, but if people disagree, whatever. But I think he's a very good driver, Hadjar, and I'm very happy to see him doing well. But I think anybody within reason who gets in that second car, whether it's Tsunoda, Hadjar, Lawson, bring back Ricciardo, whoever, I think they have the same problems. So if they are going to go Hadjar needs to hope that next year's car is drivable for both drivers, which I think, or more drivable for both drivers, which I think, given the rules reset, it should be. But we'll see. But I think Hadjar, if you put him in that car for Monza, he'll be doing what Tsunoda did. And if you put Tsunoda in that Racing Bulls, he'd be doing, maybe not a podium, but he'd be doing closer to what Hadjar's doing. To be fair, after a couple of races, it might take him a while to get back up to speed again. But yeah, it's not all the car. I think there is an element of Tsunoda has to take some responsibility. Perez has to take some responsibility. Lawson, everybody has to take some responsibility. You know, are you giving it everything? Yes or no? If the answer is no, then go play golf. But it is predominantly the car. Like, I don't want to put percentage on it, but it is predominantly. So, yeah. And like Jamie says, fair point. He needs a pre-season. What Red Bull need is to decide on their driver lineup nice and early, get it sealed, let that driver have a pre-season and actually give them the season. Give them the full season. Whatever happens next year, even if Hadjar struggles as much as Tsunoda, just give him the year. Give him a chance to get up to speed. Give him every opportunity. Otherwise, they ain't going to have any drivers left. Because I'll tell you now, Arvid Lindblad's got a lot of potential. He's quick. Jonty's here. I've been banging on about him for a good year or so now. Arvid Lindblad, he's got a lot of potential, but he is not F1 ready yet. So, I in many ways, I'd like Red Bull to leave things as they are for next season, at least the first half of it, and give Lindblad time to hone his skills in F2 and give Hadjar a chance to keep growing. But it won't be long before Marco pulls the trigger, I'd imagine. So, yeah. Anyway, I said we'd done by 1:45. It's now 10:45, so, you know, welcome to the channel if you're new. It's about right, but I am going to wrap it up. I am going to wrap it up there. Before you disappear, first of all, thank you for your company this afternoon. It's been an absolute pleasure. Really enjoyed the race with you all there. It all got a bit chaotic at the end, and what a moment in the championship battle. They're just showing it on Sky now, a 34-point gap. Oscar Piastri back to Lando Norris. It's not over. You've said it in chat. Anything can happen. Insert Murray Walker line here, but yeah, it's looking good for Piastri. Let's see what happens next week in Monza. But yes, please drop a like and subscribe if you are new. Lots to come this season. Thomas will be with you tomorrow with either. I suspect it might be a wrap because based on that race, quite a lot happened that might be worth wrapping up, but he might pick a talking point. So he will be back with a video tomorrow to round off the weekend. Sam will have a short out on Tuesday and another on Wednesday. I'm back on Thursday with the Italian Grand Prix preview. Then, of course, we'll be live across the weekend again for qualifying and the race. So looking good. Yeah, likes and subs, all of that business. Thank you for your company. I'm going to disappear now and go and make some dinner before I start again, ready for the next one. Monza. Oh, Jonty's still here. Monza. Bloody love Monza. Can't wait for it. Going to be so much fun. But as ever, thank you for watching. I've been Sean. This has been the F1 Word. And until next time, goodbye.